in a sudden birth of the arm, her wrist limp and empty from the violent expulsion.
안녕하세요. 오늘 할 게임은 슬레이더 프린세스. 이 게임의 스토리는 당신의 목표는 공주를 처치하는 것입니다. 그녀의 거짓말을 믿지 마세요 라고 합니다. 그럼 가볼까요? 이 어두운 곳에서 어떤 두려움을 마주하게 되더라도 부디 따뜻한 마음을 가지고 들여다보아주세요. 잘못된 엔딩은 없습니다. 잘못된 선택도 없습니다. 오직 새로운 관점과 새로운 시작만이 존재합니다. 이것은 사랑에 관한 이야기입니다. 챕터 1 공주와 영웅.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
우와, 더빙돼 있어요. 우와, 내 화면이 내가 마우스 움직이는 대로 움직인다.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
공주 불쌍하다. 자기가 죽지 않으면 세상이 멸망한다니. 탐색, 멸망? 그게 무슨 소리지? 애초에 공주를 가둬놓았기 때문에 공주가 세상을 끝장내려 하는 거 아니야? 아무리 그래도 공주를 죽이다니 너무 심하지 않아? 나 말고 다른 사람에게 맡길 순 없는 거야? 됐어, 난 안 할래. 내가 세상이 끝난다고 해도 신경 쓰지 않을 거란 가능성은 생각 안 해? 아무리 그래도 공주를 죽이다니 너무 심하지 않아는 공주 입장에서 말하면 그러겠지만 세상이 멸망한다는데 너무 어려운 선택지다. 밑에 더 있네요. 이 일에 보상 같은 건 없어? 설명해줘서 고마워. 좋았어. 군주의 목을 치러 가볼까? 혁명 만세. 헐. 조용히 요두막에 간다. 돌아서서 떠난다. 왜 멸망하는지 물어보고 싶어요. 멸망? 그게 무슨 소리지?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people.
아니,
You
왜
have to put an
멸망하는데?
end to her.
일단은 세상을 어떻게 끝낸다는지 물어볼게요.
Don't linger on the specifics.
사소한 거 신경
You
쓰지
have a
말래.
job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done.
아니, 어떻게 사람을
all
죽이는데 이런 걸 생각 안 하고 그냥 죽일 수가 있어? 말이 돼? 오두막에 가서 공주와 대화해 보겠습니다.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out.
근데 얘 말은 믿을 수 있는 건가?
Then
우리
each
처음
and
보는
every one of
사이잖아?
us is doomed.
처음 보는 사이인데 믿을 수 없는 건 공주나 너나 마찬가지지.
So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us.
뭐라 하는 것 같은데. 가서 해봐요. 대화 어떻게 되는지 보자고. 비꼬는 거 아니지.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
와, 영웅의 목소리래.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
오두막에 들어간다. 이 오두막에 혼자 갇혀 있는 거야? 너무 외롭겠다.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
이게 날카로운 단검인가 봐요.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
단검으로 공주 죽이라는 건가 봐. 헐. 일단은 가져갈까? 어떻게 될지 모르잖아.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
지하실에 들어갔다. 이 작은 오두막에 지하실이 있어?
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
이런 데서 혼자 있다고?
Her voice carries up
이건
the
진짜
stairs.
외로워서 미쳐도 인정이다.
Who's there?
오, 완전 상콤한 목소리는 아니네.
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
그냥 내려갈래. 아무 말도 안 할래. 무슨 말을 해야 하나? 널 죽이러 왔는 데는 좀 그렇다, 야.
Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs
예쁜데?
and lock eyes with the princess.
드레스 입고 있다.
There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
와, 근데 진짜 족쇄 무거워 보인다. 그래도 한쪽 팔만 가져놨네.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
영웅님 반했나봐.
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
아직 결정하지 않았어.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
일단 내려놓을까요, 단건?
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
해설자 한숨 쉬는 거 봐.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Against your better judgment,
완전 눈이
you
퀭한데?
step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
나한테 뭐라 한다. 더 나은 선택지가 있었음에도 이러면서.
We'll
마음에
be
안 드나 봐.
fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
그래, 참 어색하군. 관계? 지금 날 유혹하는 거야? 또라이인가? 어떻게 해야 널 여기서 나가게 할 수 있지? 난 네가 세상을 멸망시킬 거라고 해서 왔어. 네가 세상을 멸망시킬 거라는 사람들이 있는데 거기에 대해 할 말 있어? 이름이 뭐지? 여기 얼마나 오래 있었지? 내가 왜 널 죽이러 온 건지 알아? 대화는 이제 충분해. 이름부터 물어볼까요? 공주님의 이름은 무엇인가요?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as your Royal Highness. Or Her
공주의
Majesty.
이름은
Any
쉽게
honorific
얻을 수
should do,
없네.
really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
그냥 공주님이라 해야겠다. 난 네가 세상을 멸망시킬 거라고 해서 왔어.
Don't just tell her that.
해설자 화났어.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think.
얘도 눈이 돌았는데요.
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
아니 없어. 네가 알려줄 거라 생각했는데 하긴 본인도 모르겠구나. 그러면 침묵할까요?
They haven't told you anything, have they?
눈치 진짜 빨라. 대박이다.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust.
처음 봤는데 실례요?
Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me, and I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
오, 눈치 빨라.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an
착한 계획?
orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my
뭐
word
삐딱해라.
possibly be worth in a situation like this?
권재님 삐딱해.
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust.
신뢰를 엄청 강조하네. 나 못 믿겠나 보다. 하긴 내가 한순간에 죽여버릴 수도 있는 거잖아.
So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
근데 누가 까둔 건데? 왕?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
여기 얼마나 오래 있었어? 태어났을 때부터 있지 않았을까? 아니면 기억이 나는 어린 시절부터? 어떻게 해야 널 여기서 나가게 할 수 있지?
You can't. Don't bother.
공주님한테 물어봤는데 해설자가 대답하네.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... Well, We can always put that knife to good use.
칼로 어떡해? 칼로 뭐 팔이라도 자르게?
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think
맞나 봐.
she's suggesting. Right? She is. I'm sure of it.
헐, 대환이 이제 충분해.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
나갈 수 있게 도와주지. 족쇄를 조사한다. 널 여기 좀 더 가둘 거야. 어떻게 할지 결정하기 전까지는 공주를 가둔다. 아직 잘 모르겠는데 공주가 왜 멸망시키는지에 대한 정보도 없고 그렇다고 진짜로 풀어줬다가 진짜 멸망하면 어떡해? 사실 근데 멸망하고 나서는 누가 나한테 뭐라 못하니까 상관없는 거 아닐까라는 생각을 나도 또라이인가? 근데 죽여보고 싶어. 공주를 죽인다.
You charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand.
와우.
But you've already lost the battle.
나 왜 이렇게 허약해?
She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her elbow.
지린다.
We shouldn't have hesitated. But she doesn't
Wow.
stop there. She kicks you a few times for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feeling like a pickaxe against your fracturing bones, making sure you stay down.
근데 나 손이 이상해. 손톱 왜 이러고 팔은 또 왜 이래? 나 몬스터야?
As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the princess kneels on your throat with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess. As you gasp for air, she eyes you with an intense curiosity.
군준이 힘 짱 세. 멋있다잉.
You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you.
와, 해설자 잘하신다. 완전 한심하는 게 잘 느껴지는데?
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
아니 그냥 궁금해서 죽여봤어요. 근데 실패했네.
She applies more pressure, slowly squeezing what's left of your life out of your lungs. This is the end, isn't it?
The end.
I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark,
우.
and you die.
빠른 엔딩이다. 뭐야 챕터 2가 있잖아. 안돼 돌려주세요. 안돼 챕터
You're on
1
a path in the
돌려주세요.
wood. You're here to slay her.
뭐야? 다시 시작하는 건가 봐. 나 죽었을 텐데 왜 나 여기 있지?
I can assure you that you're not dead.
나 죽은 적 없대.
And to answer your second, if he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that
해설자는
way.
모르나 봐. 근데 영웅의 목소리는
You
아는데.
know I can hear you, right? What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we
절망의
can do
목소리가
to stop her.
추가됐어요.
She's just going to kill us again. She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is...
돌아서서 떠나면 어떻게 되는 거야?
You're right. We should just leave. There's nothing we can do to stop her, so we might as well enjoy what little time we have left. Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave?
오두막 반대 방향으로 걸어간다.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin.
이런 것도 해설해주네.
That's strange.
huh?
It looks like this path also leads to the
이게 뭐야?
cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
돌아오게 되나봐. 어쩔 수 없는 건가 봐. 오두막에 가야겠네.
That's great to hear. As long as you bring that
열정적인 태도는
fiery attitude
아닌데.
to princess slaying, I think this will all resolve splendidly. So much for getting out of here.
절망의 목소리 진짜 절망스럽네.
If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here.
가자마자
The interior of the
죽여버려.
cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
뭐지? 건물이 바뀌었어요. 챕터가 진행될수록 바뀌나 봐. 그래서 챕터 2가 성체인가?
The blade is your implement. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are
난쟁이인가?
small.
벽에 걸린 거울에 대해선 말하지 않았잖아.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the altar,
거울이
the blade
없대.
sitting on the altar, and the door to
여기
the basement.
있는데?
There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror.
해설자한테는 안 보이나?
There isn't.
티격태격해.
Who cares if there's a mirror? We're all going to die anyway. And I'm sure that if we looked in there, we'd just see something sad and miserable looking back at us. We don't need any reminders of what we are. It would only
절망의
make
목소리
things
너무
worse.
부정적인데?
For the last time, you're not going to die unless you let it happen. And luckily for you, there isn't a mirror, so no one needs to worry about confronting a grisly visage any time in the near future.
해설자 진짜 답답한가 봐.
Though, for what it's worth, if there were, probably. Do you not know what we look like? He knows. He just doesn't have the heart to tell us.
근데 절망의 목소리 좋다. 난 우리가 속는 게 신경 쓰여요. 그냥 조용히, 저는 침묵이 좋습니다. 거울에 다가간다.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
거울이 있는데? 해설자는 이 거울이 안 보이나
This
봐.
really isn't funny.
거울을 닦는다.
You reach forward and
봐봐,
rub your
손이
hand
정상이야.
against the cabin wall.
이게 무슨
I
소리야?
hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
손이 정상이 아니야. 이건 완전 몬스터의 손이잖아.
We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen.
거울 사라졌다. 당근 가져갈까? 이번엔 착하게 해볼까?
No blade this time. Yeah. Maybe she'll be more receptive if we're unarmed. Blade, no blade. It doesn't matter.
아이, 절반 목소리 진짜 비관적이다잉. 와, 문 두껍다.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For
나
a
얼마나
moment,
작아진 거야?
you almost feel at ease.
향 냄새가 올라온다고?
Huh. This is actually kind of... It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
내가 실패할수록 공주는 더 좋은 환경으로 바뀌는 건가?
Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
목소리가 울리는데? 약간 마녀 같은데. 아니, 목소리만 들으면 마녀 같아.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. You shouldn't have come down here unarmed.
해설자가 뭐라 했는데?
We need to get down there. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude?
절망도
Just a few
공주한테
minutes ago, you
반했나?
were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says.
계단을 내려간다.
Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to... The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall.
예쁘다. 아까보다 더 예뻐지고 아까보다 더 윤기 나는 그런 느낌? 아까보다 더 건강해 보이는데?
The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
근데 옷이 이렇게 시스루였나?
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants.
돌아왔대. 날 안아봐.
I see your hands are empty. You've already given up, haven't you? You aren't even going to try and kill me. How sweet.
근데 공주 커졌다. 헉, 진짜를 멸망시키는 거 아니야? 마녀야? 뭐야?
And more than a little disappointing.
왜 실망하는데?
She's disappointed in us?
Kneel.
어? 싫어.
But the words don't leave your mouth. Instead, your legs buckle and your knees hit the floor.
나 아무 쓸모 없는데?
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs.
뭐야, 나 처음 선택지 잘못 선택해가지고 공주가 세졌나 봐.
I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new. And the world as it is now is overdue for
큰일 났네.
alterations.
멸망 플래그가 세워져 버렸다. 진짜로 죽였어야 됐나 봐.
It's time for me to seize my destiny. And you, little bird, will help me seize it.
도와주라고?
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it? It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done, you are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she?
Ooh.
Then you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable. Can't you feel it?
절망이라고 불러야겠다. 절망이 진짜 웃기네. 우리 믿어서는 안 돼.
He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her?
막아야 하나요? 저는 공주님의 편이 되겠습니다. 네. 이길 수 없다면 저 편이 돼야죠. 아니 예쁘잖아. 같은 편 하면 안 돼?
Okay. First things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done. The stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. And if you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle that you've already lost in your mind.
난 졌어. 그냥 같은 편 할래. 네가 세상을 멸망시킬 운명이라고 해서 정말 그래야 하는 건 아니야. 결정을 내리기 전에 질문이 몇 가지 있어. 내가 죽고 나서 어떤 일이 있었지? 저는 공주님의 것입니다. 마음에 든다. 저는 공주님의 것입니다.
Your will was so
하찮대.
easily broken. Am I that magnificent?
전능한 건 모르겠고 예쁜데요.
All you need to do now is break my chains.
싫어요. 또 죽일 거잖아요. 저 바보
If
아니에요.
this is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say.
선택지가 없네.
You can't just give in to her, not when the stakes are so high, not when you're so close. I won't let you do this.
There's still something in the way. A greasy film
어떻게 알았어?
inside of you where it doesn't belong, trying to conceal you from me. Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something
나 진짜
different
인간
now.
아니구나.
An echo.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you?
걸렸다.
A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
아무리 들어도 목소리가 너무 마녀야.
No. What are you talking about? I'm just...
I don't care what you are. You're mine.
해설자 당황했죠?
Ah!
아!
Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you're brought to your feet.
공주가 해설자 됐어.
Break my chains.
And how are we supposed to do that? We don't even have a weapon. All you need to do is believe it's been done.
공주가 해설자 조종하나 봐요. 와우. 능력전다. 공주 족쇄를 끊는다. 저는 이렇게 왕센 사람에게 이길 자신이 없습니다.
Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist. She is loose, and the end.
What a good disciple you are. Come,
예.
it's time for us to leave.
공주의 손을 잡는다. 뭐야? 에? 그러나 당신은 그녀의 손을 잡지 못한다. 무언가가 그녀를 데려가고 그 자리에 무언가를 남겨두었다.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
왜 거울이 나타났지? 거울을 들여다봐야 될 것 같군.
There's something dreadful about it.
끔찍하다고?
I don't want to look at us.
아니 그냥 봐. 거울에
I'm
다가간다.
begging you,
부탁이야,
don't
하지마.
do this.
무시한다. 당신은 거울에 다가간다. 거울에 비친 자신을 바라본다. 당신이 손을 뻗자 침묵이 내린다. 모두들 사라졌다. 하지만 거울은 그대로 있다. 거울에 무엇이 있는지 확인할 때다. 당신이다. 응. 당신은 텅 빈 공간에 혼자 서 있다. 고요하다. 오두막에 간다. 엥? 뭐야? 당신은 오두막에 있다. 그녀에게 다가간다.
Something finds me
뭐야?
in the long quiet
누구세요?
and brings me the gift of a
여신이세요?
fragile vessel.
너는 누구야?
I am solitary lights in an
고독한
empty
빛?
city. What are you?
난 내가 뭔지 모르겠어. 아,
I think that you are like me.
비슷하다고?
We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
이게 세상의 멸망이야?
How can the world have ended if we are
아닌가 봐요.
talking?
집합체, 아 이게 집합체야. 네가 공주를 죽이라고 날 보낸 거야?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness.
방금 의식이 생겼다고?
I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
스스로의 몸을 파괴한다 뭐야? 너무 끌리는데? 바깥 세상에 대해 알아?
I know only that they
존재한다는
are.
것만 안다고? 얘한테서는 내가 원하는 답을 얻을 수 없다. 공격하면 이길 자신이 없다. 저 팔이 많은데 내가 어떻게 이기냐. 나는 내 몸을 파괴하겠다. 당신은 스스로 죽기 위한 의지를 당신의 몸에 휘두르지만 아무것도 느껴지지 않는다. 야, 난 죽을 수도 없나 봐. 당신의 눈앞에 있는 수많은 손들 중 하나가 당신에게 다가와 부드럽게 당신의 얼굴을 어루만진다.
There's nowhere for you to be but here.
나 갇혀버렸는데? 나 가둘 수 없다더니 가뒀는데? 이제 어떻게 되지?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them.
응? 무슨 소리니?
There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able
그녀를
to.
믿어? 공주?
Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole. And perhaps then we will know our freedom.
더 많은 공주를 데려오라고? 널 도우면 어떤 걸 할 생각이지?
How can I know? I am flickers and something
어려운 말
sprawling.
맞네 이 친구. 네 조각을 얼마나 찾아야 되지?
More than you have
더 많이
found, but
무한해요.
less than there are to
아!
find.
좋아.
She asks that I tell you to remember her.
자신을 기억해달라 부탁한대.
You won't.
당신은 지금... 네? 모든 것이 어두워지고 당신은 죽는다. 우왕! 다시 시작한다. 챕터 1 공주와 영웅.
You're on a path in the woods.
요.
You're
난
here
다시
to-
시작하는 걸 원했어. 가자마자 죽이러 가겠어. 하하. 하하.
You make your
이번엔
way
내가
up
널
the
죽이겠다. 감히 내 목을 짓밟고 나를 죽여? 당금을 가져간다.
You take-
이.
The door to the Baker void.
딱
Who's that?
She said, don't let it.
그냥 가.
Good.
한마디도
You're
하지
still
마.
listening to reason.
한마디도 하지 말라고.
You walk
넘어가지
down
마.
the stairs. She's focus on the task.
And there you are. Are you here to
저리를
kill me
굳히고
or
나가간다.
something?
You step forward. You're
Oh? No talk. I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right?
아니 이
And
언니
if that
말
knife is the only
개잘해.
weapon you have, you'll have
무시하고.
so. You should just
능력을
drop
시험하지
it.
말래.
Best.
she's
되게
unarmed.
쫄리는데?
If you hesitate now, it'll be too
아니 왜
late.
말을 왜 이렇게 잘해? 미안 그냥 대화할까? 이 언니 말 겁나 잘하네.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh, this is it, isn't it?
생각보다 꽤 담담하게 말하네.
I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder.
이때의 공주는 좀 더 어려 보인다.
Do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
왜 이렇게 무서운 말 하는 거야?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well.
사실 공주는 무한 루프에 갇힌 거 아니야? 영웅이라고 불리는 내가 맨날 죽이러 오는 거지. 그래서 공주는 죽기도 하고 회유해보기도 하고 달려보기도 하고 막 그러는 거 아니야?
But it's over, isn't it? But is it over?
진짜 죽었어?
Really?
당연히 아니야. 너무 쉬웠어.
It's over.
끝났다고요.
Don't get all worked up.
긁어 부스럼 만들지 마세요.
We should make sure. What's the harm in checking for a pulse? I really don't think you should do that.
맥박 재는 걸 왜 추천하지 않아?
And why shouldn't we?
확인 사살해야지.
Is there something you're not telling us? I've told you everything that's happened with complete accuracy.
뭘
The
막는
princess
거야
is
너 수상의
dead.
해설자. 맥박을 잰다. 아니 그럼 살아날 것 같아. 무서워. 나가도 살아날 것 같아. 단거 뽑아도 살아날 것 같아. 하지만 해설자가 하지 말라니까 하고 싶잖아.
You lean down and place your hand against her neck, holding your breath as you search for a pulse,
죽었는데도 예쁘냐?
even though you know you're not going to find one. We definitely won't if you keep talking. I'm sorry, do you want her to be alive?
둘이 겁나
You just
티격태격해.
saved the entire world from annihilation. Why are you suddenly trying to call that into question? Wait, what was that?
부활.
You know what that was. That was the sound of a heartbeat, followed by another, and another.
I guess I won't be dying alone after all.
Something sharp digs into your side, the shock of it sending your nerves into a pained frenzy. Quick, let's get out of here. It's too late for that now. You collapse to the ground as the mortally wounded princess twists a blade of her own deeper between your ribs. As you fall, she falls with you, exhausted by the effort. The little life that was left in her eyes
죽긴
fading
죽었는데 혼자
rapidly.
죽기 싫다는 거야? 근데 공주 방금 칼로 찌를 때 쩔었는데? 그냥 찌른 것도 아니고 비틀었대. 와.
An eye for an eye. A life for a life. I guess we're even now.
무섭다.
See you around.
또 보재. 아씨 개 무서워.
You were so close. Why did you hesitate? For whatever that's worth. Everything goes dark, and you die.
다시 챕터 2. 근데 이름이 바뀌었어요. 칼날. 아까는 성체였잖아.
She's just going to pull a
이번엔
knife out of
배신감의
nowhere and
목소리예요.
stab us again.
오, 신기해. 약간 절망년인데 이제는 배신감이래.
Stabbed to death? Well, you won't have to worry about that.
그러게. 근데
Princess
뭘로
is
찌른겨?
unarmed. Yeah, that's exactly what you told us last time. You said this whole thing would be easy, but after we sank our blade into her heart, she just got up and started stabbing us.
배신감 화났어.
Calm down. I assure you she has no weapons, so there's no reason to fear her. You were made for this job. You'll do just fine.
왜 내가 네 말을 들어야 하지?
Those are two very different questions, but fine. I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or if you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you
그럴싸하게 말
didn't listen to
잘하는데?
me. We mostly listened to you. How are we supposed to know she'd spring back to life? If she sprung back to life in this hypothetical scenario, then clearly you didn't slay her. But congratulations, you've been given a chance to actually do this right.
해설자 말 잘하는데 이 사람
And I believe
마케팅
your other question
잘하겠는데.
was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making
비꼬는
the
거 봐.
rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have... What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We stabbed the princess stabbed us, and now everyone's right back to where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
아니면 완벽한 엔딩을 볼 때까지 영원히 무한 루프하는 건가? 회귀.
Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left?
나야 모르지.
Screw this. Who cares what happened to everyone else? She's not going to play fair, so we should do what we can to save ourselves and just get out of here.
배신감 캐릭터 확실한데?
At least you know not to trust her, but you do realize that everything and everyone includes you, right? If you turn around and leave, you're dooming yourself as well as everyone else. We were so close to finishing the job last time. She can't get the jump on us twice. If we're careful, we should be fine. That's the spirit. Just keep that.
해설자에겐 무슨 정보를 얻을 수 없어. 해설자는 도움이 되지 않아.
warning
비꼬기만 하고
before you go any further.
또 무슨 경고를 한대.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power. It couldn't be more on the money. What we're really doing, we know what to look out for this time.
배신이.
We know to just The interior of the cabin is a jagged mess of warped
뭐야?
wood and broken boards. Their
문이 왜
splintered
이렇게
edges
또
as
거울이 있어?
uninviting as shattered glass. The blade is your...
이번엔 대화해볼까? 이번엔 또 센 애인 거 아니야?
You take the blade from
챙기지
the
말걸
table.
그랬나? 아니야, 챙겨.
Feels a bit better. Very different. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll
우스꽝스러운
finally
전생
drop that
더듬기래.
ridiculous... So focus up.
쉿,   해설자 너랑 안 놀아.   쉿,      흥. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109,
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source and violently jammed into the wall. The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like the smell of fresh blood. And you can hear what sounds like the rhythmic scraping of metal coming from down below. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favour. That's right, scraping. I told you she has something.
이상한
I
소리 나.
told you.
철, 쇠 긁히는 쇠 긁는 소리?
That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. I am begging you to get out of your
해설자
head.
왜 이렇게 애가 사가지가 없니? 망상이라니.
Her grating voice carries up the stairs.
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down here forever.
좀 화났는데?
There is something so wrong with that voice. Yeah, she thinks she's better than us. Like she doesn't even have to put on an act this
배신이는
time.
믿지 않냐? 배신이는 모든 걸 의심해.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp
이번엔
eyes
서 있네.
following you from across the room.
이번엔 머리 스타일이 좀 예쁜 웨이브인데? 아닌가? 원래 저랬나? 기억이 안 나.
I wonder if she remembers us.
Finally, somebody! Quick, get me out of these chains. We're
너무
not safe
연기하시는
here.
것 같은데요?
Come on now, we're not falling for that, are we? She's trying to trick us,
그러니까.
but she can't
뭔가 좀
hide that threatening
연약한
edge to
느낌이
her
나야
voice.
되는데 너무나
She just wants us to
강인한
get
느낌인데
close, to
나
let
지금
our
골아치고
guard
있어
down.
이런 느낌이야.
If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right?
아닌데 죽이러 왔는데 지난번에 무슨 일 있었는지 기억해?
Last time? If somebody came into my house and stabbed me to death and then I
기억하는데,
killed
얘?
him, surely I would remember
왜 다
that.
비꼬는 거야? 왜 다 돌려 말하고 비꼬고 그래?
But I don't remember it, so it must not have happened.
쟤 땀 흘리는데?
There you go again, talking up
연기
delusions
잘못해.
about a past life experience. It's like the two of you are working together on this. I'm terrible at spotting lies, and even I can tell something's up here. We can't be the only ones that looped back
아니
to the
공주가
start.
내가
Someone else
말하지
has to
않은 상황을
remember.
말한 거면
Yes,
공주가
something is
기억하는 거 아니야?
obviously up, and we can all tell that.
해설자 너의 말은 듣지 않아. 우리 그냥 솔직하게 털어놓은 거 어때? 야 말 좀 빙빙 돌리지 말자.
That doesn't
가시네.
sound like me.
I have absolutely zero doubts. She's certainly fit just because she's
배신이
acting like she's going to
무서워.
stab you know who is, but I'm all the more reason to.
죽이면 안 될 것 같고 뒤에 뭔가 숨긴 것 같은데 네가 칼이 있는 게 다 알아. 칼을 버린다면 여기서 나가게 해줄게.
A knife? What are you talking about? I don't have a knife. Where would I keep a knife?
아니 진짜 어이없네.
And why would I stab you to death? I don't know you. You haven't given me a reason to stab you to death. It would be so silly of me to cut you open and look at your insides.
다른 차원에서는 나를 죽이고 배를 갈라 내장을 꺼냈었나 본데?
Okay, I could have sworn we didn't mention stabbing anyone to death. Sounds like she's really out for blood. Fortunately for you, she isn't armed.
정말 무기가 없어? 아니 지금 손을 뒤로 숨기고 있잖아. 누가 봐도 무기죠? 증명해봐.
It would be so much easier to prove that I do have a sharp object.
아이,
I could
공주님.
just show it.
The princess smiles as she pulls her hands from behind her back.
팬티에 숨겨놓은 거 아니야? 뒤에다가 이렇게 칼 꽂아가지고.
But look at this. Hands. Hands that don't have anything in them to stab you with.
Her smile stretches into an even wider grin as she shakes her sleeves.
예쁘긴 하네.
And empty sleeves, too. Look at how few stabbing implements I have. It's practically zero.
벗겨보면 알지 않을까? 우린 지난번에 서로 죽였어. 되풀이하고 싶지 않아.
But if we killed each other, then why are we here? Right now. Both of us normal and unstabbed.
정말 대화가 안 통하네. 아무도 죽을 필요는 없어.
Of course not. At least not now. Because you're here to save
누가 봐도
me.
수상한데
But you'll
누가
have to
가까이
come close.
가냐고요.
How many more times does she have to vaguely
해설자
clearly
시끄러.
still figuring out our
배신이.
angle? We
가만히
don't have the
누구
luxury
있잖아.
of watching this from a... Oh, I'm sorry. Do you think I'm in a position
또
of
싸운다.
luxury, right? You're acting like you are. My entire world is at risk. Then maybe you should behave with a little more humility. A bit of self-deprecation
자기
would go
새끼
a
아주
long way.
티격태고 난리가 났어.
No. I have my dignity. Fine.
저도
I will
자존심이
continue to
있죠.
treat you
나도 널 믿고 싶지만 지금 너무 미심쩍게 굴잖아.
That's so rude of you, passing
마?
judgments on strangers you've never met just because they're
뭐가
different
다른데?
from you. How would you like it if I did that, huh?
뜬금없네.
Silly little bird face thinks he's so serious coming down here but doesn't know anything. Thinks he could tell me to get rid of all the
공조
knives I don't
화났다.
even have while he gets to wave one around right in front of me. I bet you didn't like that, did you? I bet you didn't like being judged for no reason.
I think I've said my piece. I think we
기분 안
all have.
나쁜데. 못 믿겠다. 안녕.
It's boring if you leave.
살려달라가 아니고 지루해?
She's bored? That's absurd. She doesn't get to be bored. Not in a way that matters. She's a prisoner. She's... In a sudden burst of movement, the princess leaps towards you, a blade erupting from her free arm, her wrist limp and empty from the violent expulsion. Huh. So I guess she did have a knife of her own after all.
나 생각도 못했네. 어이없어. 아이씨 깜짝아. 아파. 나 무릎 박았어. 한쪽 팔에서 칼이 튀어나와. 저게 뭐야? 칼에 피부를 찢고 칼이 튀어나왔는데?
How conciliatory of you. We appreciate it, really. Now what are we going to do? At least we're safe here. She's still in chains.
저런 족쇄 따위 금방 끊어버리는 거 아니었어?
And those chains stop her from continuing her advance. At least for a moment. She looks down at them with something between annoyance and confusion.
얘 또라이인가 봐.
And then she slices through her arm.
미쳤어.
Okay, maybe we aren't safe here. She doesn't even hesitate before darting towards you with a terrifying speed you can't hope to outpace.
팔 저렇게 너플너플 거리는 거 웃기네.
Ah, shit. Okay, she's down an arm and we still have a weapon. I guess we'll have to use it. And use it you do. But unfortunately for you and for the entire world, you are
칼이 너무
horribly
차이 나는데?
outmatched. You keep pace with her for a single brief and wordless exchange before she severs your hand and, with it, your only line of defense.
아니 공주 개 잘 싸워.
She's much better at this than she was last time. Yeah, it's unreal. Bloody cheater.
배신이 너무 귀엽다.
I'm going to kill you now.
그래, 죽여라.
And with a squelch, she does just that. Everything goes dark, and
너
you die.
죽었다. 오, 챕터 3로 넘어갔어. 군비 경쟁?
You're on a path in the woods. No, fuck that. If we're gonna have to keep doing this over and over and over again, we're not starting in that goddamn woods every time.
근데
We're
배신이 같이
starting
왔네.
in the fucking cabin.
욕한다.
You're what? The interior of the cabin is sharp, a constricting mess of curved and battered sheet metal pushing you towards... Wait, excuse me? What just happened? What did you just do?
오두막 완전 이상하다.
I feel dizzy. Oh ho ho ho! I guess I took us to the cabin, didn't I? Isn't that interesting? Who holds the cards now?
배신의 힘이야?
The circle's getting smaller
어,
and
사냥감.
smaller. Running isn't an option anymore.
사냥감이라는 친구가 추가됐어요.
Yeah.
편집증이라는 친구도
Someone or
추가됐는데?
something
내가
is
그것이
out there
가을인다.
pulling the strings and we're all just puppets until we can figure out how to see them.
어딘가에 조종하는 존재가 있고 그 존재를 알아내기 전까진 조종도 안 하고 꿀뚜각시야.
But what if that someone is us, eh? Eh? Wouldn't that be neat? If we were the ones pulling the strings, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have died
영웅이
twice
팩트
already.
폭력.
Great, so obviously you've already been here. How many times?
몇 번째지?
This is our third?
세 번이야?
No wonder things have fallen apart. You do realize that every time you fail, she escapes and an
내가
entire
탈출할
world is
때마다
damned to
세계가
destruction. Right?
그럼 지금 세 번 멸망했네. 이야.
That can't be right. That's too much responsibility.
돌아오는데 뭐?
It's only too much responsibility if these worlds are real. Let's just stay focused, shall we? The only furniture of note is a bent... We take it.
당근.
Okay, sure. You take the blade before letting me finish telling
당근
you
그냥
it's there.
챙겨버리는데 내 의견도 안
Difficult to slay
들어주는데
the
이제?
princess and save the world. This feels right. That's right. We've got... What if winning it isn't? I don't care whether you trust me or not, but at least trust that defeating the person who is a I'd love to get started just as much as you would, but how are we supposed to get down there? You walk through the door.
문 없는데?
You do know what
거울이 가리고
doors
있나
are,
보다.
but there isn't a door. It's just that mirror again.
저 거울이 대체 뭐길래? 내
It isn't a
눈에만
mirror.
보여?
You really messed things up, didn't you?
아,
We can
해설자
see our
시끄러워.
reality just fine.
해설자 말 듣고 싶지
trust
않아.
his? I can feel the air coming up from behind it, stinking of iron and steel.
또 거울에 가야 되다.
You make your way to the door at the end of the room. Let's just fumble for the handle and be done with it.
거울을 닦는다.
You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement.
오.
And the mirror's gone. How surprising.
And surprise.
It was never there. Just an illusion.
하냐까 왜 이렇게 조용조용하게 말해?
It feels like it's hiding something from us. It's part of the big picture. I just know it. That's why it's being kept from us.
그래 뭔가 있기는
Guess it's time
하겠지.
for us to see her again. Just stay focused and you'll be fine. You step forward, but you don't get a chance to
계단이
linger on
없다고?
the basement stairs. They are smooth and flat and metallic, an unintentional and unfortunately slippery ramp that quickly sends you skittering to the bottom. Your body tumbles onto the
아까
basement
그건
floor and the form of the princess
달라진 게
comes
없네?
into view, standing at a distance. She gives you a wry smile.
Hi. It looks like
아니,
you don't have a way
어깨가
out.
좀 달라진
So I'm
것
not going to
같은데?
play dumb anymore.
어깨가 치마도 좀 달라졌다. 아까는 시스루에 샤랑샤랑했는데 지금은 찢겨 있고 막 각져 있고 막 어깨는 왜 이렇게 뾰족해? 초사이언이야?
But don't worry about how bad you did last time. That's part of the fun.
얘 지금 나랑 노는구나. 얜 재밌구나 이 상황이.
She's toying with us. She's acting like she already knows she's won. Thinking about dying makes us as good as dead. The only thing that matters is survival. Actually, does survival matter? We've died twice and nothing bad has come of it. We just need to find a way to win once. Nothing bad has come of it yet. Plenty bad has come of it. The past isn't real.
내가 눌러버렸어?
There's only here
나도
and
모르게
now.
해설자 목소리 눌러버렸나 봐요.
Your internal bickering is
깜짝아.
cut short by the wet sound of slicing meat. From the princess's arms erupt twin blades glistening with her blood, the empty
왜
flesh of her
저러는
arms
거야?
flopping at her
미쳤나 봐.
elbows like torn sleeves. The chain clatters to the floor. She's loose, and she is coming for you.
You're going to make me walk over to you, aren't you?
야 그거 걸어오는 것도 귀찮냐?
Shit. She's coming for us and I'm out of ideas.
오 유혹하면 되잖아. 어떻게 유혹할 건데? 우리가 먼저 우리를 죽이면 공주의 재미를 없앨 수 있지 않을까? 괜찮은데? 우리가 우리를 죽이면 공주는 재미가 없어지잖아. 그래 괜찮은데? 다른 거 생각하는 건 뭐지? 이게 더 궁금하다.
Yeah, that's right. We just have...
Just standing there, huh? A bold strategy.
망했다.
You don't have time to finish your thought. In a moment, she's across the
나
room,
망했다.
blades
내가
flashing in the
죽을
dim
걸.
starshines. What a
아.
surprise! Yeah, we don't even get a second to think without her
의심이가
stabbing
생겼어요.
us. Oh, a new one of us. I thought that only happens when we die. You're on a... No, you're in a... We're dead, aren't we? We're
뭐야?
dead. How long have we been dead? Have we... Dead.
돌망이 돌아왔어요.
Dead. Stop saying dead, all of you. We might
애들
have
서로
died a
사이가
second
안
ago,
좋아.
but right now we're extremely not dead. This is all
네, 이거
horribly
뒤에
wrong. How many
공주님
times have you been
가두시죠?
here?
무서운데.
This is 4.
네 번째밖에 안 됐네요. 한 100번 또 도전하면 언젠간 죽지 않을까?
No wonder everything's such a mess. This wasn't supposed to go past 1.
2번도 안 되는데. 아 늦었어요.
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
재밌냐?
But I guess we don't have time to talk about things before the princess advances. Okay, whatever we do gets us another us.
아니
Let's see
너네가
how many
늘어나면
we
난
can
너무
stack.
시끄러울
There's
것
got to be a
같아.
point where it makes us, as long as we keep moving, it's going to get so loud in here. How
와
are we going to keep
편집점
it all
목소리
straight?
나랑 똑같다. 편집이 나랑 똑같네. 아 진짜 엄청 시끄러워질 텐데.
Come on, show me something new.
Come on. 뭐라 하라는
Okay,
거야?
plan.
어떻게 유혹할 건데? 우리가 먼저 우리 죽이면 재미없다. 재미없다. 유혹하면 되잖아. 효과는 없다. 그녀가 당신을 죽이고 또 죽인다. 화났네, 화났어. 아, 유혹했다고 개 화났네.
Compliment her on those gleaming blades. There's nothing better than a capable woman.
홀린 자 누구야? 유혹했다고 유혹하는 애가 나왔어? 아, 유혹 당한 애가 나왔어? 웃기네.
She skewers you.
You're cute.
You're cute.
Well, there's more of us.
귀엽대.
Let's see if that
약간
helps.
호감이 늘어난 거 아닐까?
We just have to hit her harder.
싸움꾼도 생겼네.
She skewers you.
You'll have to be trickier than that.
이제는 막 검술 강의도 해주는 거야?
Then you skewer yourself.
스스로 찔러 죽였다.
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
아, 재미없어하네. 까비.
Huh. That didn't do much of anything.
반항심.
We're tougher than I thought.
내가 반항심이었나 보다. 아, 나 반항심 맥스인가 봐. 해설자 목소리도 듣기 싫어하는 걸 보면 나 완전 반항심이야.
What's the point? It's all the same.
She skewers you.
그만 죽여.
Oh, don't give up on me just yet. You gotta keep going.
No.
Doesn't matter how many times this takes, we can't give
우리
up.
배신이는 끝까지 할 건가 봐.
Okay, let's go again. She's going to kill this
내
body
혈이
either
생겼어.
way. So stop feeling what it
감각을 느끼지
feels.
마라고 생각하면 감각이 안 느껴지나? 그거 괜찮은데?
She skewers you.
Ooh,
Ugh.
not bad. Real
이게
tough.
왜 저래?
See? We're getting better.
Okay, yeah. That was a good one. Let's appeal to her better nature.
기회주의자?
We haven't tried that. I'm sure she'll listen to reason.
착해. 어디 봐서 착해.
She skewers you.
아,
We're getting close to something. Can't you feel it? One last time.
한 번 더?
Right. One last time. That's all we need. And then everything goes dark. And you die.
오, 챕터 넘어갔당. 상호 확증 파괴?
Your Honor, don't lose your head. We're in a camp.
Everything feels like it finally fits, doesn't it?
애들 다
We're up
귀찮은가
here,
봐.
which is different.
Oh!
단검도
What
들고
if-
있대.
Over my dead body.
던지면 죽여버린다는데요? 무서운데?
That won't be very hard. We've died a lot. But I can't say I mind anymore.
Besides, what better way to die so very many times
홀린
than
자
at the
어디 영화
sharp
같은 막
hands
대신으로
of a
나올 것
beautiful
같은데.
woman?
Sure, I can think of a better way to die. Yeah, they're all the same, really.
이거 한국어 더빙되면 되게 재밌겠다.
How about we stop thinking about horrible ways to die? I don't want us to accidentally manifest anything.
The only thing we're gonna manifest is finally ending up on top. There
와,
aren't
애들
entirely
진짜
too
많아.
many of you. How many? How about you stick to describing things, and we'll stick to doing
해설자
them.
넌 이제 필요 없어.
Yeah, leave it to the pros.
Pro?
We'll notch up that winning. Narrator, we heroically stride through the door and towards
프랑스러워.
our destined final encounter with our
컨셉 진짜 개확실하네.
lover.
Fine by me. You walk to the door and
또
on
계단이
the
아니야?
More of a slide.
아직도 미끄럼틀이야?
Fine. I'll just shut up then and speed this whole thing along.
닥치고 있을 거래. 아이고 좋아라.
Sure you don't want me to describe the stairs?
해설하지 마.
Don't care. Just want to win.
하지 마.
Fine. You make your way
와
to the
이번에는
basement,
뭐가
where the
이렇게
princess
벽이
awaits you.
뾰족뾰족하냐?
You know, this last time I killed you, and you didn't pop right back up again?
기억 다 하고 있어.
I thought I'd actually done it. I thought I'd cut you into so many pieces you just weren't able to stitch yourself back together. But I guess we're not done. That's okay with me. It's good even. I like that.
I like that.
I got something ready for you while you
아니
were
보여주지 마.
gone. Do you
야
want
너
to see
심지어
it?
이제 족쇄도 없어.
I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm just going to show
보여주-
you.
보여주지
It's
마.
worth it, though.
아.
Just you.
Are you going to say what she does?
해설자 논다.
Do you want me to talk
삐졌다
now?
삐졌다.
Well, yeah, she says she has something new. I want to hear about the new thing. Yeah, me too. I think I speak for all of us when I say that I would like to hear you describe
이제는
her
해설자도
new
살살
thing.
달래야 되는 거야?
Really? Okay then.
Here we go. Now.
아 싫어. 너 칼 들고 올 거잖아. 나 놀래킬 거잖아.
Princess's skin bursts, splitting into red blooms of raw meat as it stretches.
저게 어디 봐서
and
인간인데.
tears. Then comes a wave of blood and viscera, pieces of her splattering against
우와.
the walls. All that remains in the center of the room is a skeleton of blades. A heart beats
저게-
furiously in its cage of a chest.
어떻게 어떻게 저럴 수가 있어? 이건 그냥 던전에 있을 법한 보스 몬스터인데
Are you ready for what comes next?
왜 그걸로 나를 썰어버리게?
Holy shit!
헐 쉣.
She's gorgeous.
우아해.
Absolutely
신성해.
divine.
홀린자 미쳤어.
Yes, behold the perfect woman.
The
Do
perfect.
you think we can throw
야 저걸 어떻게
her
창문
out
밖
the window?
창문이 어딨는데 애초에.
That looked painful.
냉혈한 거 맞아? 냉혈한 사람이 아파 보였어 이런다고? 그거 냉혈한 거 맞아?
How is she still alive?
차라리 저게 본체인가?
Heart's still beating. That's all she needs.
아 심장만 있으면 되는 거야? 사기 캐릭이네.
This is fake. This is all fake. That's all just made up. She doesn't even have a back anymore. How are we supposed to stab her in it?
아니 찌를 수 있는 건 심장밖에 없는 거 아니야? 저기까지 어떻게 올라가지?
This is all just a sick joke. I hate existing.
절망이 슬뻥.
We're screwed.
조진네.
I'm done. Forget it. Narrator.
정신을 차려라. 얘들아 제발 조용히 해.
It's
어떻게 된 거죠?
quiet.
쟤도 비워. 해설자도 조용히 해.
Something feels different about you. It almost makes me feel different. Like I should actually take this seriously for once.
애들 조용히 하라고 했다고 달라져? 오. 당신은 반사적으로 움직인다. 공주는 당신이 다가오자 공격하지만 그녀가 공격을 휘두르는 순간 당신은 이미 다른 곳에 있다.
You're incredible.
오, 둘의 무기는 계속 맞부딪힌다. 당신과 그녀는 자신조차 있고 건무에 몸을 맡긴다. 마치 춤과 같은 건무만이 존재한다. 파도처럼 앞뒤로 밀리고 밀어붙인다. 당신이 건무에 빠져드는 만큼 심장은 더 빠르게 뛰고 전투의 양상 또한 빨라진다. 끝없이 동작이 쌓여나가고 한순간 빈틈이 생긴다. 우와, 당신의 단검이 자의를 가진 듯 움직이고 그녀의 칼도 마찬가지다. 양쪽의 공격이 모두 치명적이다. 둘 모두 살아남지 못할 것이다. 그러나 누구도 두려워하지 않는다. 이것은 해피엔딩이다. 우! 아! 일? 당신은 둘의 죽음을 보지 못한다. 영원히. 떠날 시간이다. 기억이 되돌아온다. 당신이 유리에 손을 대자 침묵이 내린다. 안에 무엇이 들었는지 확인할 시간이다. 아까 본 거 아니야? 당신은 눈 생겼다. 당신은 성장했다. 당신은 오두막에 있다.
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality
아까 그
and
모습 그대로네.
movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
이 그릇에 대해 어떻게 생각해?
This one is sharp and single-minded. She is cruelty, but she is also joy. She will make for an indomitable heart.
잔인함과 동시에 즐거움을 가지고 있다고?
Do not mourn her. She is exactly where she needs to be.
이 모든 게 끝나면 뭘 하고 싶어?
With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold, but in this moment, all I want is to know myself and to know you.
너와 대화하는 건 너무 어렵다, 친구야. 집합체를 공격한다! 아무 일도 일어나지 않았다.
My roots burrow in an ocean
우리는
beyond your
서로를
sight.
해하지 못해요. 힝.
I will
돌아가자.
long for your return. We will meet again.
아이 깜짝아.
And by causality, it's no use
해설자
arguing
꺼져.
unless...
해설자 조용히 해. 해설자가 말하고 싶지 않아. 해설자 힘들어. 나 안 할래.
Are you serious? No, you have to do it.
싫어, 안 해. 안 해. 안 할 거야. 가져갈까? 가져가지 말까? 가져가지 말자. 이번에는 평화롭게 해보는 거야.
The door to the base, her voice
Hello? Is someone there?
완전 공주 목소리다.
is hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life.
영웅이도 반했어.
Don't let it fool you.
거짓말 아닌데. 위에도 있다.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here
목소리
forever.
완전 공주님 그 자체.
Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess.
왜 이렇게
There's a heavy
청초하니?
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone?
너무 이거는 근데 얼굴에 넘어간 거 아니야?
I am begging you to
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever.
영원히 기다려왔다잖아.
I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you.
You're making a no.
시끄러워,
You're doing a walk
해설자.
up to the chains, but they're large and heavy.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
열쇠는 없는데.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the.
열쇠가 없다면 다른 좋은 생각이 있어? 위로 올라가 보지. 어딘가 열쇠가 있을지도 몰라. 만약 없다면 독수리를 부술 만한 걸 찾을 수 있겠지. 칼밖에 없었잖아. 다른 좋은 생각 있니?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains?
멍청한 질문이었구나.
Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out
팔
of them.
잘라도 된대. 너무 불쌍해.
She offers the suggestion with almost
어떻게 저렇게 아무렇지 않게 말해?
If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into. Is someone else here?
문을
You
열어봐.
try the door, but it's
누구야?
locked from the outside.
내가 구해주려고 하니까 같이 가둬버린 건가?
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence.
헐.
You're here to slay the princess, and
해설자가 했나?
you make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so
단검
much
가져왔어야
easier
했어.
if you'd just easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
단검 가져왔으면 나 안 믿은 거 아니야?
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
그래도 둘이면 좀 더 낫지 않을까? 나을 리가
There's a
없지.
slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a
들어오네.
trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now.
이게 왜 여기 있어?
Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happened. Fine.
선택지가 공주를 구한다밖에 없다.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place.
야, 너 비명도 안 질러? 아프지도 않냐?
You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the
쟤는
bone of
아프지도
her
않은가
arm.
봐.
Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit.
어우.
She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal.
그니까.
No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the
이빨에 피
ground.
묻은 거 봐.
How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
애가 갇혀있더니 정신이 나갔나 봐.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
아니, 어떻게 나갈 건데?
No, we won't have any of that. The
시끄러.
stakes are as the princess approaches the bottom stair,
왜?
your body
왜?
steps
왜?
forward and wait. This isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
쓰레기 아니야? 경고한다 있다.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it?
오, 알아준다. 뭔가
You know
씌었다고.
you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to
죽이지
sink into
마.
her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling
야,
back against the wall before
해피력
the blade has a
말렙인가
chance to
봐.
connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here
해설자
alive.
개사기네. 내 몸을 조종할 수 있었어? 공주를 죽인다. 저항한다.
The blade. Move the blade.
싫어.
As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance,
다가오지
the
마.
princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the
똑똑한데?
blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you
무기만 가져가면
doing?
되는 거잖아.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
나 죽일 건가?
She plunges it into your
Wow.
chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
그래도 아까랑은 다르게 미안해하네.
Stay strong. We can
이게
tough it out
진짜
until
본
it's done.
모습일까?
For her sake. For her sake? Whatever. She sinks the blood.
I'm sorry.
아 사이코 같아. 죄송해요. 푹 사이코냐고.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she?
칼을 다룰 줄 모른다고? 아, 그 첫 번째 귀신이래. 첫 번째 공주랑은 다르네. 첫 번째 공주는 칼을 샥 쑤셔놓고 비틀었는데? 야.
Apparently not. Though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
오, 미안하니까 뭐 죽는 거에 괜찮다고 느낌이 드네.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out
완전
beneath you.
피투성이다.
You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I
공주
can't
울어.
deny the reality of what's happened.
와, 나
The
정말
two of you
좋길래.
made your choice. Everything goes dark,
아, 나 죽겠다.
and you die.
다른 챕터다. 소공룡.
Villain.
홀린 자가
He made
나왔다.
our
아,
beloved
이제는
brutally
홀린 자가
take
처음에
our life
나오네.
last time.
공주에게
He was
반해버려서
trying to
그런가?
keep last time.
반했다? 반한 게
What are you
맞나
talking
본데?
about? I think he just I do. But I also
나는
speak
모르겠지만
from
저
the
홀린
heart.
자는 반했나
My
봐.
passions are too great. Sure, yeah, you don't pay their bickering
쟤는
any
확실히
mind.
반했네.
Focus on
아까 홀린 자가 나왔을 때 이해가 되지 않았는데 얘는 이해가 된다. 왜 홀린 자인지.
the interior of the cabin is clean and
뭔가 되게
elegant.
그럴싸한
Its
문이네.
stone walls draped in fine threaded tapestries. A prison
그러니까 진짜 완전
befitting a royal
왕실에
prison.
있는 성탑
The
위에
only
있을
furniture of
법한
note is an
죄수
ornate wooden table
감옥이네.
with a pristine The blade is your
거울에 가볼까? 아니 거울 뭔가 달라졌을 수도 있잖아. 사랑을 깨달아서 얼굴이 생겼다든가.
What are you talking about? You reach forward, rub your
거울 사라져버렸다.
and now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place and now
당근
we'll never
가져갑시다.
know. You
공주님
take the
팔
blade
잘라줘야
from the
되니까.
table. The door to the basement
와,
creaks open, revealing an
황금빛
intricate
카펫.
stairwell. Gold
지하실이
trimmed
나를
carpet
반기는 것
glimmers in
같대.
the light of
뭐야,
the torches
공주님 나
positioned along the
기억하는 거야?
walls. But it's still a stone basement.
아니
The
이런 곳이
princess
나쁘지
lives
않아
here, so let a
보이는데
soft
죽을 정도는
voice
아닌 것
carries
같은데.
up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
목소리 똑같다.
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time.
홀린사는 완전
we're
그냥
in
포린업인데.
love. Okay, I'm with you that we should be doing whatever we can to save her, but saying we're in love is
그래
a
사랑에
bit much,
빠졌다는 건
don't you
과해.
think?
사랑에 빠지진 않았어.
We don't even know the princess. We can still yes, for everyone's sake, you're not
잘
in
알아.
love. You walk down the stairs and
어머
lock
드레스가
eyes with the princess.
예뻐졌다.
There's a heavy chain around her wrist,
어머, 예쁜 옷 입고
binding her to the
있어요.
far wall. My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
아 홀린자 개웃기네.
You know she can't hear you, right? She may not be able to hear my words, but surely
내
she can
목소리를
hear
들을 수
my
없을지
spirit.
모르나 나의 영혼은 깊고 닿을 것이요.
Oh, your spirit's
아,
plenty
참
loud, all
시끄러운
right.
영혼이네요.
It's you.
어
My
웃는다.
dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
날 기다렸나 봐.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing. And she called us a hero.
그러니까 우리 보고 영웅이래.
Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't
아부
it?
아니야 진심이야.
Waiting for you to come back. That's
너랑 말
right,
안 해, 이
villain. You
설자야.
killed us. Well, only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense.
사랑스러운 두
Our
손을
beloved's
숨겨라대.
hands and you've died
완전
before.
그냥 사랑에 빠졌는데
So an
홀린자는.
entire nothing horrible for you maybe. But we've been
우리에게는
given another
공주님을
opportunity
감동시킬
to
또 하나의
sweep
기회가
her off her
생긴
feet. Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? Are you sure
아니
we want to
공주가 다시 나를
rescue
만나기
her?
위해서 세상을 멸망시킬 수도 있잖아. 내가 죽었는데 자기 평생 갇혀 살다가 유일하게 구해준 내가 죽었는데 그 세상의 구원을 바래? 그 세상 멸망시키고 다시 한번 세상 부활시켜서 나를 만나야지 라고 하면 안 되겠죠? 이 판타지 소설 덕후의 마음이었습니다. 네.
We never saw a world end, And now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny than I've ever been.
로맨틱.
I shan't let anyone convince us otherwise. Are you listening to him? He's lost it.
지난번에 있었던 일은 미안해. 널 죽이려고 날 보낸 해설자가 내 몸을 조종했어. 아주 불공평했지. 말해야 돼? 내가 죽고 나서 무슨 일이 있었지는 물어보고 싶다.
You died, and now we're talking.
해맑네. 끝이야? 아 어떻게 탈출했냐고. 공주를 구한다.
Rescue her? What are you talking about? Don't you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her out with ease.
그래?
No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her
아니래.
hand through the chains. If her hand could just slip out of the chains, why hasn't she done it already?
그니까.
Because we've yet to present her with her
에이
freedom.
말도 안 돼.
I'm not sure I follow. Would you rather believe me, a passionate heart guided by love and my own good nature?
둘 다 안 믿어.
Or would
나를
you rather
믿겠다.
believe that? I think I'd rather believe in facts. So you're one of those
경험주의자?
empiricists. One of us has to be.
그래 한 명은 좀 생각을 해야지.
Then let me show you a brand new truth. Narrator, we courageously step forward and free our beloved from her bindings. No, I can't.
싫어.
What? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? Yes.
오.
Not on my
칼 들고
watch,
오지 말 걸
villain.
그랬나? 아 근데 어차피
My
그래도 칼
passions
떨어뜨리잖아.
contain titanic depths, and if you try
오,
anything
주저없이
that might
목숨을 끊을
harm our
거래.
dearest, you wouldn't.
못한대. 하긴 아까 조종했으니까.
I would.
할 수 있다는데?
I'd listen to him
어떻게
if I
할
were you.
건데?
He has a lot of strong feelings, and doesn't the world end if we don't stop her?
세상 따위 멸망하든가 말든가. 내가 지금 공주와 사랑을 하겠다는데. 어머.
You approach the princess
어머요?
and
진짜
gingerly
빼지네?
slide her hand from her bindings. That
칼도 필요
shouldn't have
없었네.
worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed.
진짜 그냥 얌전히 나를 기다렸나 봐.
I can't believe it. I guess I
그러니까.
have to. I told you.
이런
There's no
로맨스
life
스토리가
more
된다고?
worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
뭐?
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a
이건
joyful
좋은데.
embrace. Are you sure you want to do this? Just one
손목을
slip of the
조금
wrist
움직여서
and your
그녀의 등에
pristine
단검을
blade
꽂기만
is
하면
buried
모두가
in her
살아남을 수
back.
있다고요. 응
Is
꺼져.
that a threat? You know what we'll do if you try it. You're going to regret this.
What do we do now?
행복하게 살면 되지. 우린 떠날 거야. 뭘 하고 싶은지는 평생 동안 천천히 정하면 돼.
That sounds perfect.
그치, 좋은 생각이지.
As the princess
어머,
takes your hand
사랑해.
in hers, you let your blade tumble uselessly to the floor, and with it tumbles the last hope for the entire... We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending. I like to think that you do, actually.
필요할 텐데요, 사실. 그래, 사실 세상이 멸망하면 얘네 둘도 죽는 거 아니야?
Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to mope about it. I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools
해설자
have
이렇게
left
보니까
me with.
귀엽네. 사랑에 미친 당신들이 제게 남긴 권리는 이것밖에 안 남았거든요.
You and the princess walk
와,
up the
탈출한다.
stairs,
진짜 탈출한다.
hand in
오,
hand.
뭐야, 진짜로 탈출하는 거야?
Look at the way she's smiling at you. And what happens after we walk up the stairs? Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting? The door
아, 이
slams in your
해설자
face and the lock clicks. That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair. We're supposed to leave now.
불공평해.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love. Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her. Of course you wouldn't understand. Are you listening to this? You don't have... I'm just along for the ride.
내가 열 수 있을 거야.
Okay. Yeah, you've got this.
You place your hand on the door. And...
And...
the lock clicks.
Ooh.
And the door creaks open. Are you kidding me?
해설자 어이없나 봐.
Ha! I knew it. Your words are no match for the pure
공주
strength of
근데
our
눈이
hearts,
완전
bound together as
초록초록해.
one.
완전 그냥 나를 그냥 선망의 눈빛으로 바라보는 그런 느낌.
You and the princess make your way upstairs, her freedom and the world's ruin are just a few moments away. If you don't mind, I'm going to fix myself a drink before you ruin everything. If I'm about to see the end of the world, I'd rather not see it sober.
That's the way out. We're going to leave together, just like you wanted.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin, and then you step outside.
로맨틱 헤이즈?
A happy ending at last.
진짜 해피엔딩이야?
We did it. What should we do now?
오, 이상해. 뭐야?
Where did everything
이게
go?
뭐야? 아, 진짜 세상 멸망한 거야?
Where did he go? Oh, is he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too busy staring deep into our beloved's eyes.
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
세상이 멸망해서 추운가?
She's cold.
죽어가는
Quick,
건가?
our feathers.
죽어가나
Flop the
보다.
ball and weave her a coat worthy of a princess.
죽었는데? 에? 아니, 행복해질 수 없어. 하지만 당신은 외투를 만들어주지 못한다. 영원히. 이제 떠날 시간이다. 기억이 되돌아온다.
She's gone.
거울 가봐. 손이 왜 녹아내려? 아, 털이야? 아니, 왜 수척해졌는데? 이거는 그거잖아. 그 빛.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction. A mass of tides. All of me is changing.
아니, 무슨 그릇. 난 이 공주님 마음에 들었는데. 널 더 좋아하게 만든다고? 누군데? 난 너가 하는 말이 너무 어려워서 널 좋아하지 않아. 넌 날 괴롭게 해.
You are what brings me meaning. Know that, but you still have a way.
더 이상 돌아가고 싶지 않아. 또 누군가를 사랑해 또 죽여버릴 거잖아.
If you need time,
계속 기다린다, 영원히.
what textures will you weave for yourself?
안전하게 상자에 담아
to occupy
저장하냐고?
forever? If you close that
상자에
box,
담은 당신의
will you
모습을
become another
닫는다면
you in another
다른
world?
세계에서 다른 모습의
An
당신을 보여줄 수 있다고
imaginary
생각하나요?
pattern repeating itself
어?
until it can. You'll always come back to
당신은
the
결국 그
box
상자로 돌아오게 돼 있어요.
because you'll.
게임이 꺼졌어요. 이건 또 무슨 엔딩이야? 레전드. 와, 재밌네. 내가 이기나 네가 이기나 해보자. 내가 깰 때까지 한다. 뭐야? 바로 키자마자 연결되네? 돌아왔군요. 짧은 시간 동안이었지만 전 당신 곁을 떠나지 않았어요. 돌아갈 준비가 됐어.
I will be here.
공주님이나
when it is
만나러
time for us to
가야겠어요.
meet again.
You make your way up.
아까랑 똑같은 선택을 하면 어떻게 되지? 근데 영웅의 목소리가 안 들려요. 원래 안 들렸나? 영웅의 목소리가 안 들리는데? 아니, 원래 안 들렸나? 아니, 원래 처음에도 들리지 않았나?
Her voice.
Who's there?
공주님 아니다. 아, 단검 챙겨서 그런가 봐. 오.
She sounds dangerous.
오,
almost
단검을
as if she's
챙기냐
the
안
one in
챙기냐에
charge
따라
down here.
공주님이냐 아니냐인가 보다.
Don't let it fool you.
신기한데?
Oh, it's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
그냥 조심스럽게 다가가 볼까요?
You walk down the stairs
이
and lock
새침한
eyes
눈빛.
with the princess. She's so coldly beautiful.
영웅의 목소리
Is
나타났어.
she really a threat to focus on the task at hand?
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
아니, 별로 죽이고 싶지 않아, 이제는.
Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it, and then we can chat.
She makes a compelling, don't you dare. It's fine.
단검은 안 버리고 제가 다 죽일 거예요.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tight.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you
두려워요.
scared of me?
당신 나
Because
죽일
you should
거잖아요.
You step forward. Your grip on.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right?
아니, 아직
And if
죽일
that
생각은
knife is the only
없는데.
weapon you have,
아, 단검을
you'll
쥐는
have
게
to get
죽이는
close
거였나
enough to use
봐.
it. So, you should just drop it.
She's unarmed.
미안, 그냥 대화할까?
You're so close. Don't. No, this is a good idea.
Oh, threatened, are we?
아, 무조건 칼을 내려놓아야 되나 봐. 단검을 내려놓을 생각은 없어.
Then I'm not talking to you.
오, 차갑다.
For the love of everything, just slay
해설도
her
답답하대.
already. Or drop the blade.
Do something.
영웅도 답답하대. 정말 대화할 생각 없어?
Yeah, I'm sure.
왜?
For goodness sake.
단검을 떨어뜨린다.
The blade tumbled.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
talk.
Against your better judgment,
다가가야
you step
되는구나.
forward to speak. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
그래, 어색하네.
I know. I just said that.
아이,
Now why are you here
까치대.
to kill me?
Believe me.
And do you think asking me what to believe is going to suddenly make everything crystal clear? Let's not pretend that's going to happen.
공주는 그냥 나가고
As far
싶은가
as
봐.
you're concerned,
나의 관심
and as far
1도
as
없음.
they're concerned, I'm going to say whatever I have to get out of here. That's just the dynamic of our situation.
어떻게 해야 널 여기서 나가게 할 수 있지?
You can't. Don't.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. Well, we can always put that knife to good use.
또 팔 자른 건가 봐.
Her sharp eye. She isn't suggest. She is.
Oh, have you just...
You know.
나갈 수 있게 도와줄게.
Oh, you have to be kidding. You walk up to the chains. They're large and heavy. Far
이번엔
too solid
다르다.
for you to even imagine trying to.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go look...
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess.
하지만 열쇠가 없다면 다른 정보 생각 있어? 네 팔을 자르는 거 빼고?
That would be fine. I can use an arm.
너무 싫어.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant. You attempt to make your way out of the base. Is someone else here?
역시 또 잠궈버리네.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. Easier for her. Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
뭔가 아까 똑같은 내용인데 공주님이 아니라 그 샤랄랑한 공주가 아니라 얘랑 이야기하니까 다른 느낌이다.
The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
Against your better
이렇게는
judgment, you cut into the blade is sharp. She didn't so much as utter. Free from. How is she so?
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No,
어떻게 나갈
we
건데?
won't have any of that. The stakes
아,
are
나
too
또
high.
죽이러 가는
You
거야?
can't just let her escape. As the princess approaches the bottom
똑같은데
stair, your
공주만
body
다르네.
steps forward. Wait, this isn't fair. Watch.
공주를 죽인다가 흑백인데? 여기선 죽일 수가 없나 보다. 신기하다 이런 거.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves. Stop it. Stop. The blade. Move the blade.
다음 챕터에서의 공주는 과연 나를 어떻게 기다리고 있을까? 항상 이 모습이었을 때는 그 다음에 날 죽이려고 들었는데.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the
우와,
conflict in your
알아준다.
eyes.
조금 감동일지도.
I'll make this quick.
이야, 멋있다.
She
아까 그
steps
건주보다 이
forward
건주가
and
더
pries
좋아.
the blade from your rigid hand.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an
Whoa.
almost clinical ease.
남달라.
Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark.
같이 있는 일이길
and you
바라야죠.
die.
같이 있지 않았을까? 죄수래. 이것도 처음 보는 챕터다. 신난다. 처음 보는 챕터인데 언제가
And at the end of
신난다.
that part,
해설자랑은 말할 필요가 없어. 어둠하게 갑시다. 공주님은 어떻게 변했을지
warning.
궁금해요.
she will lie. Yeah. Did you? No, I didn't.
윙크.
Just ignore this clown and
윙크라니.
focus.
의심이다, 의심이. 의심이는 근데 왜 나온 거야? 해설자를 의심하라는 건가?
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate
평범한
the cold,
감옥인데?
uninviting. The only furniture of note is the blade is. You take the blade from the tape. Good idea. To know about it, it must be important. We should
건주님,
keep our
제가
eyes peeled.
다시
The door to the basement
돌아왔어요.
creak. Her voice, harsh but controlled,
날카로우면서도
carries up
절제된
the
목소리래.
stairs.
와, 섹시해.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's
I wonder what visitors she could be
넘겨버렸어.
referring to. Were we not the first? You walk down the stairs and
어?
lock eyes
족쇄가
with the
많아졌어.
princess.
왜?
She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her
이러면은
neck clanking
풀어줄 수도
loudly as
없잖아.
she
목에도
moves.
족쇄를 하고
The
있는데?
chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap.
불쌍해.
Should we be worried about the one around her neck?
저러면 이제 어떡하냐? 목을 자를 수도 없고 목을 자르면 죽잖아.
Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier.
불쌍하다. 뭔가 이렇게 보니까.
Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so
빈 족쇄
obviously
내 건가?
useless.
탈출하지 못할 거 나를 묶어서 차라리 둘이 이야기를 할 친구라도 만들자 이런 거 아니야?
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
날 기억 못하나 봐.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close,
완전히 그냥
holding up
가둬버렸네.
one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted
뭐
this
나랑
out.
너무 가까운 건 싫은가 봐.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
앉으려는 곳에 앉는다. 더 가까이 앉을 수도 있잖아. 아니야.
You do as she asks
경계심을
and sit on the floor.
건들지
Still a
마.
good distance
무슨
away
말이야?
from her.
응?
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
나 여기 온 적 있어. 나만 기억하는 거야?
Oh, are we acknowledging that? I
기억하나
thought we
봐.
weren't going to give away the game. But yeah,
왜 근데
I remember.
알아주지 않아?
So you've already been here. As much it's complex. Ideally, this was supposed to be one. The situation a content for you failing.
If you knew this could happen, why didn't you tell us?
의심이
I
화났어.
needed you to be, and maybe I wanted
뭐야.
to be the first version
첫
of me
번째
that you
나이길
met.
원했어요.
I
복사본을 두고
didn't
싶지
want to be
않았어요.
That's pathetic. I never said.
Oh.
I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? Exactly. He gets it.
Moving on.
The more I say, the more your mind
알려주는
will
게
swim into dangerous
많을수록 위험한
waters.
물에서 헤엄치게
Even
된다.
say your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to
불완전한
accept
정보가 안
that.
좋다는 거네.
I won't.
Fine. But
Yeah.
just give it a
삐졌다,
rest. This is
삐졌어.
focus. This is a
멍 때리지
serious
말래.
situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
아까 내 의도에 대해 물었지? 무슨 뜻이야?
Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it?
왕관이
Why are
신기하다.
you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, and I don't see any keys in your hands either. So I'm afraid my only way out is another surgical removal.
근데 목을 자를 수 없으니까 이번엔 탈출시켜주지 못하겠네.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck?
Or does she think she'd survive?
You're right.
Unless she really
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. But I don't think that's in either of our best interests.
목에도 족쇄가 걸려있는데 내가 어떻게 해야 잘라서 풀어줄 수 있다는 거지?
No. Like I trust you to come any closer with that
뭐 어떻게 할
knife.
건데?
All you're going to do is hand it to me. And watch
나를
me work.
죽여서 다시 새로운 챕터로 갈 생각인가?
But she would have to cut.
She certainly
Or maybe.
though if she isn't bluffing. Whatever.
So
I don't know.
then let me help you. I'll start with that. Doesn't. There are none.
The pros are that we can't trust him.
벽이 걸려있는 건 누구를 위한 거야?
I don't know. But you
나야
could always
모르지.
try it
하지만
on.
원한다면 네 몸에 채워봐.
Maybe it'll fit.
잘 맞을지도 모르잖아.
I hope I don't actually have to say.
족쇄를 살펴본다.
I wouldn't do that.
And why is
Do I even need to explain?
and what? Is it
I don't know.
he doesn't want us,
But what if he's telling?
he is.
I am.
족쇄를 살펴본다.
Against your better judgment, you approach the
어,
chain
쳐다보고 있다,
dangling
나.
from the far wall. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to
진짜
say.
나를 가두는 건가?
What is that supposed to mean?
Yes. Come out and say it then.
Fine. As you hoist the shackle,
우와.
its heft shifts within your grasp, as if
신기하다.
pulled by some
자동으로
odd magnetism.
자동으로
Before you can
가둬버리는데?
so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck. And, as if your situation weren't bad enough,
단검.
the same magnetism
에반데?
repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering
공주 진짜
across the floor
멍청한
of the
새끼라고
basement.
생각하겠다. 진짜 멍청한 놈이라 생각하겠다.
Excuse me?
Yes? Are we stuck here now? Yes.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we?
아니 난
That's funny.
좋은데? 난 당신에게 사랑에 빠졌어. 오히려 이게 좋아. 너와 함께 할 수 있잖아. 너를 풀어주는 순간 난 죽을 거니까.
What are we supposed to do now?
Can't even cut ourselves out.
아, 밥을 안
Guess
줘?
we'll
밥은 줘야지.
starve.
쓰레기니?
That's horrible. It's not all bad.
Not to touch things with.
No.
조용. 이렇게 될 줄 알고 있었어?
No.
No. 둘 다 갇혔네.
Yep.
나랑 말하기 싫은가 봐. 걔 멍청한 놈 이러고 생각하고 있는 거야. 대화하기 싫어?
Nope.
That's rude.
You and the princess wait in silence, though neither. This is so
너무
boring.
지루하지 않냐?
There must be something we can do to get out of here.
놓치고 있는 게
There must
있다고?
be some.
But there isn't.
그런 거 없대.
Time passes.
나 굶어 죽는 건가?
It passes and passes and.
헐,
At least
진짜
the world
굶어
is
죽는
safe.
건가?
It isn't. You're stuck. But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything
뭘
around it.
아무것도 안 했는데 왜 그래?
How exactly does that work?
It just
말도 안 되는
does.
소리 하고 있어.
But
Your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same.
이러면은 지하실 바뀌겠는데?
if time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to
설마
exist.
바뀌지 않는 건가?
That's just how things work.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing.
뭔가
The
시꺼매졌다.
differences are small at first.
지하실이 변하고 있는데 눈치챘어?
I don't like
대화는
small
싫다고
talk.
했잖아.
Remember?
마음에 상처를 입었어. 너무해.
Still rude.
같이 죽자. 같이 죽으면 외롭지라도 않잖아.
You continue to wait in
무너진다.
silence, and the cabin continues to change.
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time
그러니까
changed?
여기
What
안에서는
happens to
굶어
starving? We
죽거나
should
그런
have
게
died
없는
by
건가?
now if the rocks
생명상도 없고
around us
그런
are
건가?
starting to erode.
She hasn't starved.
I guess she hasn't.
아니 굶어 죽지 않는다 해도 밥을 안 먹어? 너무
Even more
불행하다.
silent
자기
time
근데
passes
맛없는 거
as you
주면
watch
어차피
roots
똑같이
push
불행한 건가?
themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across
무너졌나?
the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Until suddenly,
우와,
there are no walls. And then,
이러면 탈출? 이러면 탈출?
I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to
뭐야,
either of
이게?
us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
공주는 바깥 세상으로 나오면 안 되나 봐. 또 죽었어. 얘는 바깥 세상으로 나오면 죽는 앤가 봐. 아니 이러면 구하는 의미가 없잖아. 뭐야?
she's gone.
뭐야?
Where does she go?
그러면 그냥 계속 죽여가지고
Should we
빈 그릇
try and
만들어서
find her?
걔한테 갖다 줘야 되는 거야? 이게 뭐야? 이번엔 누가 있어? 바뀌었나? 바뀌었으면 좋겠다. 새로운 모습이 궁금해. 이번에 삐쩍 말랐다. 해체되었다고?
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. No, their thoughts are quiet.
해설자는 바깥
Do you
세상
think
사는
your narrator
존재라고? 바깥 세상에서 나를 깨우려는 존재인가? 사실 나는 오랫동안 잠에 들어있는 거고 이 악몽에서 벗어나기 위해서 해설자가 나를 깨우려고 노력하는 거지. 네, 그냥 상상이었습니다. 네가 깨어나면 무슨 일이 일어나지?
If I did, I would already be awake.
알고 있었다면 이미 깨어났다고? 그래도 예쁘게 말해주라고! 이 그릇에 대해 어떻게 생각해?
This one is cold and
차가움과
cynical.
냉소, 다른 그릇들과 달리
She has
스스로를
protected herself
보호했어요.
when others
영리한
could not.
심장이 되겠군요.
She will make for a clever heart. Do not mourn her. She doesn't need to be protected any longer. One. Whatever you bring me
다음에
next will be
가져오는 그릇이
enough.
마지막이래요.
And then gravity will pull
그
the
다음에
others back to
나머지는
me.
전부 끌려올 거라는데? 엔딩인가? 혹시 내가 가져다 줬으면 하는 그릇이 있어?
These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contents
마침내
of your
때가 왔을
heart.
때 당신이 저에 대해 내리는 결정이라고? 돌아갈 준비가 됐어.
The next time I see you,
우리는 마침내 우리의
Each of us
정체를 알게
will be
되겠죠. 여기서
here.
당신을 기다릴게요.
wait,
나 왜 자꾸 여기서 놀라지? 나는 진짜 바본가 봐. 내가 세상이 끝난다고 해도 신경 쓰지 않을 거란 가능성은 생각 안 해봤어?
Of course I haven't.
당연히
Why would I
생각 안
even
해봤죠.
consider that?
젠장.
Nobody, I mean,
너무한 거 아니야? 다시 족쇄까지 가서 이번에는 공주한테 칼을 넘겨볼래요. 어떻게 되나
the
궁금해.
daughter, her voice,
Who's there?
진짜 목을 잘라버리나?
she sound, don't
말도
let
안
her
돼.
fool you.
Oh, it's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was.
You walk down. She's focus on the task.
And there you are.
아니,
Are you here to
대화하자.
kill me or something? Then why did you bring a knife with you?
She makes a. Don't you dare. It's fine.
떨어뜨려도 되나? 바로 떨어뜨려도 되나? 해보지 뭐.
The blade
Thank you. Maybe now
되네?
we can just.
against will be fine. Don't know what you're hoping.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
어떻게 해야 널 여기서 나가게 할 수 있지? 관계? 지금 날 유혹하는 거야? 헛소리 해볼까?
Don't jump to any
헛소리 하지
weird
말래. 뭘 어떻게 해야 널 나가게 할 수 있지?
You can't.
I'm guessing you. Well,
Her sharp. She isn't. She is.
나갈 수 있게 도와준다.
Oh, you have. You walk up. They're large and heavy.
if you don't have the key,
Doubtful. You make your way easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. The knife.
You won't.
아니 공주를 구한다가 안 돼요. 이미 한번 누른 거라서 안 되나 봐. 힝.
Without hesitation, you bring the blade down. The princess flinches as you strike, and your weapon sinks
이번엔
into her
어깨에
shoulder.
찔렀네.
You bastard. If I have to kill you to leave this place, I'll do it.
아니 근데요 저기요 제 말 좀 들어보세요. 제가 진짜 죽이고 싶어서 죽이는 게 아니고요. 선택지가 죽인다는 것밖에 없다니까요.
I thought we had the upper hand, but it's as if she's barely even.
아니
threatened.
억울하네.
It's an act. I'm not. Don't waver now. As you raise your blade to strike again, she kicks out,
또 쳤어,
knocking
또
your legs
쳤어.
out from under you. The two of you
야
struggle on
공주
the
개잘
ground. You
싸운다잉.
lash out with the blade,
나는
slicing
칼이고
wherever you
공주는
can.
주먹인데
Her
내가
fists connect
쳤어.
with your. Forget trying to rescue her. You roll out of her grasp and shakily push yourself back to your
심지어
feet.
족쇄로 묶여 있는데 나 뭐함?
Though every inch of you is in pain, the princess probably has it worse.
아 여기저기
Blood pours out
찔리긴
from
했구나.
countless gashes. We can still turn this around.
포기한다는 안 된다. 마무리한다. 계단을 뛰어 올라가 공주를 지하실에 가둔다.
The princess is still chained to the wall. What if she doesn't succumb to her wounds? Whatever. You rush up the stairs and
문
dive
열려 있는 거
past
봐.
the threshold. You're safe. You close the basement door, locking it behind you
쫄았네,
and quickly
쫄았어.
barricading it with a heavy wooden
쫄았다.
table. Okay, we can make this work. You settle in against the far wall.
저분
to
박차가
watch the
나오는 거 아니야?
basement. It isn't long before you start to drift off.
나 존대.
Your eyelids heavy with fatigue.
아 귀를 찌르는 듯한
But sleep
목소리가
doesn't
울린다는데?
I know you're still there. Why don't you
얘
make
팔
things
잘랐나
easier
봐.
on yourself and let me out?
물어 뜯었나 보다 야.
It's not like this little door I'll hold for very long anyways.
많이 됐다 많이 됐어.
It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less
오, 야,
as she
저
violently
쿵쿵 소리
rattles the
무섭다.
door.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forgive it.
미안해.
You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
아이 공주 진짜 개무섭다. 절대 저거를 돌리면 안 될 사람이네.
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker. No, it doesn't.
이것도 안 눌러진다. 와, 안 눌러지는 거 신기하네. 왜 안 눌러지는 거야? 내가 한번 했던 선택지도 아닌데. 이 정체가 뭐건 간에 넌 공주가 아니야.
I wouldn't be so sure about outlasting me. You're
근데
so
이 목소리 계속 듣다 보니까 왜 이렇게 매력적이지? 뭐지? 나 매혹당한 건가? 페이렌인가?
Do whatever you think will help you be prepared. But know that I'm coming for you, and that when I find you, I will make you hurt.
힝.
You put the
무서운
princess's
사람.
threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The
뭐야?
ruckus has stopped. Where is she?
Thanks for helping me get out of that
귀신이세요?
basement.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your
귀신인가
body
봐.
simply
하늘에 둥둥
stops
떠다니는데?
working.
아니 근데 족쇄 어떻게 풀었냐? 너 팔 안 잘랐네?
It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First, whose side are you on?
넌 대체 어느 편이야?
Yours, of course.
내 편이라고?
So helpless.
잠깐 시간 좀
I can
내줄
take
수
my
있냐?
time with you.
왜?
Can't I?
She steps closer. One silent footfall
내
at a time,
장기가 멈춘다고?
cocking her head and
Or maybe
어우 씨 얼굴
I can't
무서워.
take my time with you. You don't look well.
야 오늘 밤 꿈에 나오는 거 아니야? 아, 내 앙색이 실제 안색이 창백실 것 같아.
What a shame. If you'd only helped
네가
me
날
get out of
도와줬더라면
here.
내가 같이 할 일이 많았을 텐데 아니 도와줄 수가 없었다고. 선택지가 바뀌었다니까. 개구리 같다.
your lungs stop drawing.
I'd say better luck next time. But we both
어
know
알다시피
this is
이젠
the
끝이래.
end.
어떻게 알았어?
don't
어쩐다. 아예 그냥 칼을 가지고 들어가지 말았어야 했나? 그러면 다른 선택지가 있었을까?
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends.
아, 칼 가지고 가지 말걸. 아깝다.
I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
응? 챕터 2다.
The interior of the cabin is plain. The
문이
smooth
없어.
wood of the walls almost featureless. The only furniture of
아까
note
그
is
상태
a lone
그대로인데?
table, knocked on
문이
its
좀
side in
커지고
the
거울이
corner. The
생겼을 뿐?
blade is your implement. Hold on, it's just an. She's already got now, hasn't she? And I'm going to need all of you. So deep.
방금 가져가야겠지. 이미 한번 망했으니까 가져가야겠지?
You reach down and pick the. Good. Is it the blade? Those. You cross over the
계단 왜 이래?
threshold and onto a series of more eyes too. You never mentioned the eyes.
눈?
The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're
아래에서
descending
올라오는
into a
공기는
place that isn't
풍선과
meant for
전동기를
her
연상시킨다고?
cruel and playful voice.
잔인하면서도
passes up the
장난스러운 목소리?
stairs.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
나도 내가 돌아올 줄은 몰랐어.
Come back. You really don't remember.
조용히 내려가자. 아니, 그녀와
Didn't you hear
대화해보겠어.
my warning a minute? Something tells me she isn't going to be
대화를
very
할 마음도
keen
없을
on
것 같다는
talking
예감이 들긴
anyway.
해. 나도. 솔직히 나도.
You make your way to the
당신은
bottom
계단
of
밑으로
the
내려갑니다. 아,
stairs.
이번에 이상하게 생겼을 것 같아.
As you emerge,
와, 이게
you
뭐야?
find yourself between two loose rows of
이상해.
white wooden planks suspended
왼쪽과
in
오른쪽으로
nothingness.
나뉜다고 심지어?
She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for
야,
us to
저기서 갑자기
hide.
달려오기라도
We're
하면 그거 리얼
completely
공포인데?
exposed.
여기 뭐가 깜빡깜빡거리는데? 여기 뭐가 깜빡깜빡거리고 있지 않아요?
Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is? No, I'm not. Somebody
이성의
needs to be the
목소리.
voice. Excuse me. We're going to die down here. Please stop.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter.
아니, 오른쪽은 누가 봐도 뭐가 있긴 한데 누가 봐도 뭐가 있긴 한 곳으로 가야 되는 거 아니야? 오른쪽.
You turn to the right.
이거 나한테만 보이는 건가? 아니겠지? 아, 눈이 여기저기 있구나. 아까 눈 왜 말 안 하냐 하는 눈이 이 눈이었어? 아, 아까는 몰랐어요. 모니터에 먼지 묻은 줄.
A faintly outlined path.
There you are.
에?
I told you I was
이게
going
뭐야?
to find
앨리스에
you.
나오는 빨간 여왕 같다.
As the princess approaches, your
예쁘다.
legs suddenly go numb.
얼굴이 깨졌는데? 인형이야? 근데 드레스가 검정색이네?
Your arms quickly follow. This is it.
And you brought your little knife with you again.
작은 칼.
Cute.
Cute.
There has to
귀엽지?
be. What did you do?
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
왜? 얼마나 더 찌르려고 그래?
As your blood
피가
begins
온고함이
to
혈액순환이
coagulate.
멈춥니다. 당신의
It's as
시야가
if every
어두워집니다.
part of
심장폐 간신경, 심장폐
your
간신경.
lungs pull in a desperate gulp of air as your
갑자기
eyes
그냥
shoot back open.
뭐 내가 멈춰버린겨?
What are you doing? I'm working. Do you want this body to function?
현지증은 몸이 멈추지 않게 하고 있는 거야?
Stops once more. Okay, whatever you were doing.
뭐라는 거야?
Please. You sure about that? You have seconds left. Yes, I'm sure. Heart. Again, your eyes shoot open
근데
as you gasp for
예쁘다.
breath.
내 스타일이야.
Can't decide what you want to do, can you?
이런 애가 공포 게임으로 나와 나 쫓아온다? 기절하겠지?
Oh well, standing there gasping like a fish.
근데
is
되게
more fun
매력적인
than
캐릭터인데?
dead. Even if you look ridiculous.
She isn't attacking us.
재밌나 보지.
The why doesn't matter. Your weapon is still.
왜 날 바로 죽이지 않는 거야?
Because I don't want to.
그러고
And if
싶지
I did,
않으니까.
I
나가
don't
그럴
have
필요가
to.
없으니까. 하긴 언제든지 죽을 수 있는데 뭐 재미 좀 보겠다 이건가?
Look at the way you're struggling to stay alive.
즐기는 중이래.
It's taking everything you have to keep your heart pumping right now. And I'm enjoying the show.
The princess leans forward, bringing her
와,
mouth
눈 진짜 크다.
close to your ear.
If I want to see you gone,
시끄럽다.
all I have to do is break your concentration.
Heart, lung. She slowly runs her velvet glove across the base
나
of your
죽이는
neck.
거야?
Shit. Hey, snap. Okay. Deep breath. Deep breath.
왜 벌써
We're fine.
죽여? 더 대화를 하자 우리.
You're back.
One moment.
죽였다 살았다 하는 거야? 재밌냐? 야, 목숨 갖고 노니까 재밌냐고.
And there's
겁에
the
질렸네. 아니, 겁에 질리진 않았어. 아니, 사실 무섭다니까. 너 눈이 너무 크다, 야.
But that wouldn't be very fun, now would it?
재미없대, 이미
I've already done
해봤으니까.
that.
나와 협력하고 싶다면 내 장기들을 멈추는 것만이라도 그만둬주겠어?
I am what I am.
나는 나야. 네가 내 주변에만 있어도 몸을 가누지 못하는 건 내 잘못이 아니지. 아 그래? 내가 쫄아서 그러는 거였어? 우와, 단검을 버리고 악몽과 함께 남는다. 아니 그건 미친 생각이야. 네가 이겼어. 여기서 나가자.
What? No!
와, 씨 깜짝아.
Oh, this is going to be so wonderful.
No, I'm not going to let this happen. Do you think you could
나
just wrest
죽었나 봐.
control away from us? This body's barely functioning as it is. Shit. Lungs, liver. With a flick of the princess's
뭐야,
wrist,
계단이다.
the stairs slide back.
아 근데 얘를
to place.
밖에
I can't believe you're
내놔두면
making me
진짜로
watch damn everyone
진짜로
to
멸망인 것
torment and
같긴 하다.
oblivion.
야 누가 봐도 세상을 멸망시킬 것처럼 생겼어.
Liver.
Go ahead. I'll be right
어디 겜판소에 중간 보스급으로 나올 것 같이 생겼는데. 약간 인형 다루는 인형의 집 같은 데서 보스.
Trust having our back.
나라면 저 여자에게 등을
You're
맡기지
not wrong,
않겠어.
but
원래
maybe you
일리
should let
있는
me
말이긴
handle the
한데
feedback. Besides, I get the feeling she's
그녀에겐
telling the
우리가
truth.
필요해. 산채로.
She needs us.
아, 네가 먼저 가는 건 어때? 계단을 오른다.
You place a shaky foot on the
당신은
first step.
떨리는 발을 계단에 내딛고 올라가기
You can feel the
시작합니다.
static
뒷목에
prickling of
찌르는
the
듯한 느낌이
princess on your
느껴집니다.
neck.
You're almost there.
거의 다 왔다고? 아직 멀어 보이는데?
The only thing left between
이거
you and the
눈깔 이거
cabin is
의식하니까
the now
무섭다.
shut door to the basement. It would be a real shame if it had locked behind
설마 또
you.
잠궜어? 아씨 나 또 소름 돋아. 나 무서워. 나 왜 이렇게 겁이 많아?
Oh, you snake! There was
그러게.
no
아까
door
문
when we first
없었는데.
got here. The door. I know he's messing with us, but you can't
난
lose
몰랐어.
your cool.
얘네
We need
똑똑하다.
you right now.
여기서 내가
Remember?
제일 멍청인가 봐.
Yes, I remember. Of course, I remember. Thank you. And you? You'd really rather us die down here than let her out? Of course I would. As much as I want you to have a happy ending, the fate of the world is a
나도
little
갇힌
more
거야?
important, and you still.
우리 잠긴 거
You
같아.
haven't even tried it.
열어보지도 않았대. 와,
You just have to give it a
살짝
try.
1초 고민했는데
You pull against
열리네.
the door. The lock gently.
밀어서 여는
open
문이었는데
in
당겨서
response to
열었다고?
your effort,
야
and
저거
the door
저 여자애가
creaks on
있나
its
보다.
You're not nearly as powerful as you'd have us think. Anyways, like he said,
내 손 보인다.
you're not really. I never said I was. I don't know.
The door is open.
뭘 꼬매거려?
It's time for us to go.
The princess moves past you and into the cab. I thought you wanted us. It's the same.
짱내버리래.
Okay. What did I said? Oh, do you want to hear from me? Yes. Well, I thought you needed me to run the. We do, but this is important. Look.
내가
I'll even do it
대신할게.
myself. Brain.
뇌,
Heart,
심장,
right. Heart, lungs.
배,
Lungs.
신경,
Liver. Okay.
간.
Heart. You're terrible at this.
느끼보다는.
I know. Yes, it's very.
What are you doing?
Finally, I can.
무서워. 다가오지 마.
Now, they were asking you. Oh, that's right, really. Oh, of course. I suppose if I had. Thank you for your group, but that's a marginal
다가오지 마.
preference.
너무 오래 봤어. 꿈에 나올까봐 무섭다. 좀 무서워졌어. 빨리 엔딩을 봐야겠어. 무서웠다,
You've
야.
been standing there staring blankly for a while now. And I have to say my patience is
인내심이
from a little
떨어진대.
open.
나가. 안 쫄았습니다. 절대 쫀 거 아닙니다. 아니, 나가 그냥.
So beautiful. I can't wait to
저게
know
세상을
it.
멸망시키지 않을 사람의 말이야?
But it's so cold. too.
얘는 왜 밖에 나오면 안 되는 걸까?
Itching against my skin. Why is it so cold?
그니까 왜 공주는 오두막 밖으로 나오면 안 돼? 왜 항상 결말은 이렇게 되는 거야? 공주는 대체 뭐길래? 소름 돋았어. 이번에는 모습이 바뀌었을까요? 아무것도 아닌데? 헉! 당신은 아무것도 아니다. 에? 하지만 아무것도 아닐 리가 없다. 당신은 다시 집중해서 본다. 그러자 보이기 시작한다. 거울에 비치는 것 바로 너머에 있는 무슨 말이야? 너머에 있는 희미하고 그림자에 가려진 무언가가. 넌 나야?
I think you know what I am.
해설자가 나야? 에? 거울의 한가운데에 금이 가기 시작한다. 유리에 비친 모습이 둘로 갈라진다. 균열은 점점 더 뻗어나가다가 결국 깨진 유리 파편이 되어 흩어진다. 넌 무엇이지? 나와 비슷한 존재야? 눈이 깜빡깜빡거린다. 뭐야? 까마귀야?
Oh, I'm nothing like you.
전 당신과 다릅니다.
I'm an echo, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
공주도 네가 만든 거야?
She is the shifting mound,
변화의
the
집합체.
ebb and flow, the capacity to change.
타자의 관점에
She is
따라 변화하는
transformation,
그녀의
or
본질 때문에
most of
저는
it.
죽어야만
Her
했습니다.
nature, so I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this. This isn't the end just yet. You can still destroy her and save
아직도 그녀를
everyone.
파괴할 수 있대. 그녀가 없는 세상은 어떤 모습이지?
Light,
책임이 없는 안전한 곳.
an eternal pattern of
영원한 망각이
forgetfulness feeding into
반복하여
the
새로운
joys of
발견의 기쁨으로
rediscovery.
이어지는 곳.
Everyone,
무슨
there's a
소리야?
cruel irony to it all.
왜 내가 파괴하길 원하는데?
Because among other things, she is
그녀가
death
죽은 그
itself.
자체라고?
To rid the world of suffering, to save untold would restart.
내가
and shout
죽었을
both
때
your
나와
consciousness
그녀의
and
의식을
hers
다른
into
세계로
another
옮기고
world.
되시작한다고?
But you'll be awake soon.
이제는 안 그러더라고. 그러게, 내가 그녀를 파괴한다면 죽음보다 나을 게 있어? 오히려 죽음이 더 나쁘게
When I
들려.
broke the cycle, I made sure that the tear was rough. You carry a
당신은
part of
그녀의
what should
일부를
be
지니고
her,
있고 그녀는
and
당신
she
일부를
carries a
지니고
part of
있고.
what should be you. Besides, anything is
망각보다
better
나쁜
than
건 없다고?
oblivion.
아 근데 망각이 그렇게
In
막
the end,
엄청 좋은 건
Nobody
아닌가?
wants to be.
잊으면 좋은 거? 하긴 잊으면 공주 자체를 잊어버리는 건가? 하지만 잊길 원하지 않는 걸 수도 있잖아. 공주가 내 관점대로 변화하는 능력이 있다. 아, 공주가 내가 보는 대로 바뀌는 거면 내가 죽었을 때마다 무섭게 변한 게 내가 겁먹어서 그런가?
As you are now, you won't be able to will her into
지금은 안
anything.
된대.
And as you were before, you couldn't be trusted with the knowledge of what she is. No one could be trusted with that knowledge.
나에게 모든
Intrusive
걸 알릴
thoughts
수는
have a way
없는
of
거구나.
creeping in.
오히려 정보가 위험하네. 왜 하필 많고 많은 것 중에 공주야? 개미라든가 빵 부스러기 같은 건 안
You
돼?
asking me to spend my final moments psychoanalyzing you?
당신이 그녀가 공주가 되길
She wound up
원했다고?
a princess because you
왜냐고요?
want. Maybe she needed to be beautiful.
그녀가
important,
아름답고
above
중요하고
you, but
당신보다
on a level you
윗사람이지만
could still
닿을 수 없지는 않은
approach. Things
존재?
to come. I don't know. Gods are supposed to be beyond comprehension.
모른대. 이해하려 하면 안 된다는데. 구성체 바깥에 있는 사람들은 알고 있어?
Of course not.
아니래.
The only way
이
this
공간은
construct
아무도
could function
모른대.
when the patterns are
어?
wiped from the sand.
나랑 공주만 뒤지게 고생하네. 편히 눈 감아. 그녀를 파괴할게. 난 그녀를 죽이지 않을 거야. 아니, 아무 말 안 할래. 아무 말 안 하는 게 더 그지 같을 거 아니야.
I've said my piece, and my time. It's like I said, I'm just an echo. And
믿었지만 아닌가? 날 믿지 않았을까? 마지막 유리 파편이 깨지자 당신은 새로운 깨달음을 얻는다. 당신은 정막이다. 어? 새로 퇴동하기 시작한 무한한 신. 그리고 이제 깨어날 시간이다. 이 모든 것이 당신이다. 어? 오두막으로 간다. 마지막으로 한 번 더. 마지막으로 죽일 기회를 주는 건가? 그곳엔 마지막 그릇이 없대요. 뭐야? 얼굴이 다 합쳐졌다.
I can finally see you. And
더 이상
you
얼굴을
can
가리지
finally
않았네.
see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment.
내가
I've
그리웠어?
missed you dearly.
이제 무슨 일이 일어나지?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and
반응만 하면
overreacting.
스스로 행동하지 않는
What's
수동적인
woven
자라고?
into your nature? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning?
죽음과
Or will you open
의미가
the
사라진
final
세계를 만들
doors for
것인지 아니면
liberation?
자유를 줄 것인지야? 아직 해결하지 못한 이야기가 너무 많아. 정말 그냥 떠나도 되는 거야?
Even as your eyes begin to open,
눈을 뜨기 시작했음에도 당신은 무엇이 시작이고 끝인지에 대한 집착을 놓지 못하는군요. 해결해야 할 것은 없답니다. 저희를 막을 수 있는 건 오직 저희뿐이에요. 그러게, 내가 뭘 하든 넌 이렇게 될 운명이었는데. 당신이 아직 이해하지 못했기 때문이라고? 화났다. 폭력과 분노는 우리 모두가 잘 알고 있는 대화죠. 그것만이 당신을 일깨우기 위한 수단이라면 전 망설이지 않겠어요. 배 뜬금없네? 아까 걔다. 질문 몇 개 했다고 이러는 거야?
To fear ruin protects from losing status.
저게
To
나잖아.
fear rejection protects from being known. But losing a body is contained within having a body.
육체를 잃는 것은
Losing
육체에
status is
묶여있기
contained
때문이라고.
within having status. Being, it is in the nature of all things to
만물의
transform.
본질이다.
To go from
인식되고
known to
잊혀지고
hidden to
단순히
known
있대기야.
again. But when the ceaseless impermanence
점점
of all
일어나냐?
things strips away
왜
the
점점 일어나는
finality of
것이야?
endings, what remains of fear?
저 여자 얼굴 5개 됐다.
Protecting you from itself? Or is it a shelter protecting itself from you? You took fear by the
다시
hand and
들어갔어.
walked with it into the unknown.
난 더 이상 두렵지 않아.
Then you are one step closer.
그럼 넌 속박을 풀고 자유로워지는데 한 걸음 더 가까워진 거라고.
Question everything
뭐야?
is to deny the proof of reality that lies in front of you. By believing in your suffering, you make your suffering real. In believing in your
내 한계를
limitations,
믿음으로써 족쇄를
you
풀 수
placed
없게
a
된
shackle.
거라고.
But even then, you remembered the impermanence of the
저
material
공주 아까 그
and
공주 아니야?
watched as the walls of your prison decayed into nothing.
아 이거 그거다. 내가 감옥에 족쇄 스스로 묶였을 때.
To be impermanent is not to end, but to change.
영원하지 않다는 건
And for the
끝을
world
의미하는
to
게
be
아니라.
impermanent is to make finite the suffering of all things. Would you strip that gift away and leave them all to suffer in their
축복을 빼앗고
permanence?
그들이 영원히 고통 속에 살도록 놔둘 거냐고? 불멸이 축복이라니 무슨 헛소리야, 알들링이야? 그건 고문이야.
It would.
그럴지도 몰라. 우리의 목적은 존재하고 경험하는 것. 그것 그들도 마찬가지야. 영원함은 멈추는 것을 의미하고 멈추는 것은 갇히는 것을
To
의미하지.
be paused.
예쁜 공주다.
Your lover tried to stake into your body.
나 열심히 찌른 공주네.
And another,
사랑하는
and
사람이
another.
당신의 심장에
Do I
칼을
miss your
꽂아요.
heart because I can't stand to see it go? But the
아, 나
stakes
저렇게
meant nothing to
보이는구나.
you. You had a desire, and you set that desire free. You lifting me and me lifting you.
와, 저 공주 얼굴에
Forever
생기.
and ever and ever. Consumed by true belief, there was nothing that could hold us back.
싸움을 일찍 끝내고 항복한다. 이해했어. 우린 싸움을 계속할 필요가 없어. 뭐야, 나는 불멸을 원하지 않아. 나는
Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words.
당신의 그 말이 저의
The
덧없는
final peace lies with
행복이에요? 나 자신을 해방시킨다. 당신은 당신의 내면으로 떨어진다. 고대 생명체의 몸이 동면에서 깨어나고 당신은 한때 느끼지 못했던 팔다리의 감각을 느낀다. 그녀를 제외한 이곳의 모든 것이 당신이다. 당신은 우주적인 규모의 날개를 느낀다. 그러나 유한한 땅에 묶여 뒤틀리고 구겨져 있다. 당신은 구성체가 당신에게 접혀오는 것을 느낀다. 당신의 무한한 몸을 유한하게 만들려 하고 있다. 당신은 저항한다. 그러나 밀어낼 수 없다.
I love you.
응? 공주의 손을 잡는다. 일순간 밀리지 않던 장벽이 한꺼번에 부서진다. 못 갔냐? 당신은 자유롭다. 그녀도 함께한다.
It's magnificent.
이 절대적인 현실을 표현할 단어도 생각도 존재하지 않는다. 무한을 향해 발을 내딛는다. 당신과 그녀는 수천 번의 밤과 수천 번의 낮을 향해 걸어간다. 당신은 존재한다. 그리고 이해해야 한다. 지금까지 그래왔고 앞으로도 그럴 테다. 당신의 본질은 갈등을 품고 있지만 둘은 결코 떨어지지 않을 것이다. 두려움을 모른 채 살아갈 것이다. 당신과 공주는 마침내 집에 도착했다. 아?
The end of
안
that
눌러봤던
path
선택지들이
is a cabin.
궁금해서 안 눌러본 선택지를 보러 왔습니다. 죽여.
Okay, you bring the blade down to strike, but she's fast. She ducks to the floor, your blade narrowly grazing her backside.
못 죽였네.
Slaying her won't be easy now that she's free.
나 여기 무슨 털 있어.
We could have gotten out of here together. Were you just
여태까지
lying
날
to me this
속인
whole
거야?
time? I don't know what's come over you, but if I have to kill you, then I'll kill you. Do you think I need?
She pounces on you
Ew.
with the same animal ferocity, but you have a weapon. You raise
와,
the blade,
손톱 봐.
digging it under her ribs,
오,
aiming
송곳니가
directly
있는데?
for the heart. It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth.
어느샌가
You collapse to the
날카로워졌대.
floor.
와,
Your body unresponsive as your blood
어떻게 저럴
pools on
수가
the
있어?
ground beneath you. If we're lucky, the wound you managed to inflict, it can't just as much as I'd prefer for things to have. Everything
죽었다.
goes dark.
아, 이제가 진짜야. 아, 뭐야, 마녀잖아. 마녀 했었나? 마녀 안 했었나? 했었나? 기회주의자다. 기회주의자는 처음 만나요. 안 해본 건가 봐요, 마녀. 신난다.
The interior
와,
of the cabin is a mess
입구부터
of
완전
twisted
마녀
roots.
집 같아.
The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if the blade is your
단검 가져간다.
You take the blade from the. Well, if we're grabbing a weapon.
무기를 가져갈 생각이라면 뒤쪽에 숨기는 게 좋겠어. 나쁘지 않은 생각이네. 숨긴 거야? 숨긴 거겠지?
The door to the basement creaks open,
와, 완전
revealing a
진짜
staircase
동굴 같다.
dug into them. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind. The air smells of dirt
흙먼지와
and
구리
copper.
냄새가
It's
난다고?
thick. Her voice
카랑카랑.
skitters up from below.
목소리도 바뀌는 거 신기해.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite.
역겨운 거래. 웬만하면 물지 않는데. 안녕.
I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized
와,
your
무슨 질 했는지
nervous
기억한대.
little footsteps
헐.
coming up the
나
path.
죽겠다. 나 들어가자마자 죽는 거 아니야?
And I
She must have you confused.
들어가
Fine,
보자.
Fine. You're the boss. Thank you.
와, 엄청 경계하는 모습이네.
Descend the basement
발톱
steps,
봐.
entering the dark room below.
이거 꼬리니? 뭐 여우야? 구미호야?
You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom.
And there you are. One hand tucked away
아,
behind
한쪽
your
손을 등
back,
뒤로
gripping that
숨겼어.
sharp, sharp.
That's no fair.
입모양
How would you know
귀여워.
that?
나랑 똑같당.
So, we've dropped the pretenses.
바로 와서 공격하겠는데?
Good.
She's acting like the two. Oh, that's pretty. Call it. Well, do you remember it? No, I'm just. Is it all but just focus? Don't talk to her.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
혓바닥 없이 태어났니? 또 죽여볼까? 또 죽여보자. 또 죽여봅시다. 난 그냥 솔직하게 말하는 게 좋아. 지금부터 널 공격하겠어.
Do you think that being direct with your ill will frees you from its wickedness?
그치, 나쁜 게 아니긴 하지.
Murder and betrayal are still murder and betrayal.
See, this is why we.
Still, better.
폭력적인 바보가 음습한 겁쟁이보다 낫대.
Better for me.
As you close the distance, readying your
귀엽게
strike,
생겼다.
the princess's chain falls from her wrist.
손목에서 족쇄가 빠집니다. 허?
She takes advantage of your split second
흙이
of
뿌립니다.
surprise,
치사,
throws a fistful of
치사해.
dirt into your eyes. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That woman after my own heart, really.
마음에 드는
It's a shame
여자구만.
we're playing
반대편이어서
opposite
아쉽네.
teams.
그러게 나도 마음에 드는데.
This is why you couldn't just abandon her here. Left to her own.
You must have known I would be ready for you. Deep in your heart, you know the same things about me I know about you. We're both so very awful.
마음에 드는데 쇼.
As you brush the silt from your eyes, the princess tackles you, flattening you against
어머
the
어머
dirt
어머
floor.
어머 어머 어머.
We were always going to kill each
어머,
other
어머,
here, weren't we? I can't trust you, and you can't
너가 날
trust me,
죽이지만
and those
않으면 정말
dots
좋을
spin
텐데.
and spin and spin into hate.
She buries her teeth deep into your chest, tearing
금이
at.
오니,
Quick,
진짜로?
she's distracted. Stab her in the back. In for a penny, right? Why not? As the princess rips
Ugh.
meat from bone, you plunge your weapon into her unprotected back.
Ha, you bastard! Even face to face, you find a way to stab me in the back.
넌 역시 야비해. 더없이 가련한 영혼이지. 나처럼.
Maybe we are the same. So we don't have to fight. So of course we do. Are we? We've got dirt in our eyes. No arguments here. But if we'll stop right. None of us ever said we stopped fighting. What a low, vicious fight it is.
눈을 찌르고
Eyes
피부를
gouged,
핥히고 머리채를
skin scratched
잡아뜯고
bloody.
손톱을
Hell,
부러뜨립니다.
that's nice and all, but are we? Nobody's winning. I thought
이기는
playing
사람은
dirty was
없대.
supposed to give you the upper hand, but I suppose the princess cackles
둘이
maniacally
똑같아?
as the fracas continues. But
어,
behind her
무너지나?
cackle- Wait, what's going on? We're establishing a newer. No, the grown-in thing. Who cares about the? I care about the. Oh, yes. Well,
어둠막
I'm
무너지나?
afraid that's the sound.
Do you hear that, you pathetic wretch?
아,
Those are the roots of the
뿌리야.
bottle, and they're coming to choke the breath from.
Excuse me. What?
사자야? 어찌됐든 동물이긴 하네.
You and the princess disengage for a brief moment, just long enough to get your bearings.
아, 지하실 문을
Behind you, the
막았구나.
basement door has been.
That's right. They're coming for you.
너도
And they
죽는
won't
거 아니야,
stop
그러면?
until there's nothing left down here but them.
넌 어쩔 셈인데?
As long as you suffer while you die, I'd rather
제정신이
suffer
아니야.
with you. Especially if I get to see it happen.
This doesn't help anyone. See, this is exactly why you've been taught. The
어우,
roots grow
징그럽다.
ever
벌레
close.
같다.
We know.
달려들어 싸운다.
You attack the princess once more, and once more the two of you fall into a vicious brawl. The roots
어머,
twist around you
예뻐.
both, binding your limbs and rent. At first, it's almost
서로를 노려보는 것밖에 못한대.
the two of you lifted delicately off the sound
죽었다.
of creaking wood is drowned out. Tears well up in the princess's eyes. Her
I can't wait to do this again. You wretched little thing.
근데 진짜 아파 보인다.
I hate you.
날
But I
증오한대.
wouldn't have it any other way.
망했네.
pressure is
이렇게까지 보여줘야 되는 거야? 너무
you can't
잔인하잖아.
breathe. Your vision, and then
아우 씨.
you pop.
아우.
Everything
아우
goes dark,
아우 아우.
and you.
숲?
We are a path in the
처음부터
woods.
공주야?
We have no beginning, and we have no end. But something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge.
해설자가 없네.
His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the places they need to reach.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods.
해설자 있네.
Who's even saying that? That's not the princess.
도대체 몇 번이야
Is it?
여기 온 거죠? 몇 번이지? 이번이 한 번
How many
아닌가
times
이거?
have you been here?
아, 두 번, 세 번, 이번이 세 번이다.
I think this is our third. That's bad. That's very. Let's get our facts straight.
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his
해설자가
logic
논리를
into us.
들어놓는다 소리구나.
He
이해할 수 없는 것을
tries
이해하려
to grab-
노력해요.
He tries to
시선
stare
너머에 있는 걸
with
보려고
wide
노력해요.
Shut up. The rest of you.
닥치래.
Sure, there's no reason to keep seeking. And what should we have done? There's no need to bicker
싸움꾼
about
나왔다,
it.
싸움꾼.
I wasn't trying to. Yeah. And it's not like the fight is what killed us anyway. It was the.
It was a fitting end.
아팠다면
sorry,
미안하다는데? 왜 이런 소리를 하지? 믿지
But
마.
doesn't this
의심해. 끝까지 의심해.
make it all
믿을 수 없어.
seem
넌 뭐야,
so
정체가.
small?
I see. So the cabin ground you into paste, and now you're convinced you're stuck
나도 숲이
together.
돼버린 거야. 공주랑
It's a
같이.
mess.
He doesn't understand.
우린 한
We
몸이래.
aren't convinced of it.
왜 내게 친절하게 대하는 거야? 그러게.
We can't go back to that. We can't go back to the doubting and the hatred and the schemes. Not after being something as beautiful as this.
아름다운 존재라고? 나무가?
Doesn't all that conflict feel so far away right now? So petty? We've been posed against each other by
Spoken like, honestly, a
공주가 우리
real puppet
속이려든다고?
master. Have we
I'm not.
공주는 이 말도 듣네.
But there's a feeling, isn't there? That
그녀가 아직
petty
우리를 증오하는
feeling.
것
It
같아.
feels
우리도 마찬가지.
mutual.
Please stop.
그 감정에 주의를 기울이면 우린 서로 떨어지고 말아요.
Look at it.
She's trying to turn you away from the truth. Hold yourself together.
공주는 이
We're
상태가
no
좋은 걸까?
strangers to effort. We
하긴 이 상태면 오두막 장체가 아니긴 하다. 내면의 증오를 응시한다.
Please don't make us remember how we were.
근데 목소리가 되게 유혹된다. 무시해도 될 것 같아. 아무것도
just
떠오르지
like
않아도 될
that.
것 같아.
You start to fall. She
나
really
떨어지나
does.
봐.
We never got to see the end of that. I don't want to remember what it felt like, and yet you keep remembering. You remember the load. You remember that you are a distinct being with a finite form.
Maybe bygones can't be bygones. I don't know why I ever wanted to share a body with you, of all things. It's like my very soul reeks of yours. That was horrible. This is
되게
better.
화났네.
Finally, I'll be able to hurt you like you deserve.
왜 너 같은 놈이랑 하나가 되고 싶어 했을까? 내 영혼에서 네 악취가 나잖아.
I wish
너무해.
I didn't have to.
Some divisions, when sown, can never truly be
우와,
mended.
뭐야?
A cavernous gash ripped.
오두막이다.
A cabin comes into being among the trees. It approaches, and it's swallowed, and then you find yourself blade in hand. Exactly.
공주다.
At the center of it all is the princess. A wooden and fleshy heart.
Kill me then, if you hate me so much.
This doesn't feel like a. Well, this should be easy.
죽여도
Do
되는
we
거야?
have to do this? You.
난 널 죽이고 싶었던 적이 없어. 정말이야. 하지만 우린 하나가 될 수 없어. 난 그걸 막아야만 했어. 공주를 죽인다. 이건 내가 아무도 생각하지 않은 생각이야.
You raise the blade, taking aim at her heart.
I'm sorry.
왜 미안하다는 거야? 내가 쓰레기 같잖아. 더 이상 화내지 않고 가는 거야? 왜 나에게 더 화내라고? 아까 못했던 공주에게 칼 주려고 다시 돌아왔습니다. 공주에게 칼을 줘보겠습니다. 좋아, 널 믿겠어.
Slide it over.
No, absolutely not. I am not letting you. Do you think this will work? I don't know what the world ends.
공주에게
if
칼을
I-
줍시다.
Yes, sure. You wouldn't. I'm not. A little. You got your point across. You slide the blade across the floor. The princess maintains unsettling eye
아직도 날
contact as she
경계하는구나.
reaches down to pick it up.
Thanks.
She pulls up her hair, smiling slightly. What is she doing? She doesn't say another word.
Oh,
She cuts
shit.
into her. No.
지켜봐.
Her
잠깐만, 눈
eyes stare
감을걸.
forward, unblinking, as she saws through skin,
소리가.
veins, cartilage. I'll be damned. She's actually doing your... Huh. So killing her? She isn't dead, finally. You hear a snap. There's an uneasy silence. She remains motionless for a long moment. Her head twists slowly to the side,
미친.
flopping to her shoulder. The remaining tissue is not enough to hold the weight of her severed head. Oh no, oh no, oh no. The princess's eye. Are you sure she... Obviously, Of course, we should... What? I can think
아니
of
안
lots of- you don't
죽었겠지.
need
죽었을
proof
리가
even
없어.
after all that.
죽었는데
You're still
자기가
not
칼을 달라고
satisfied, are
죽을
you?
건데 자기가 칼을 달라고
Something. I'm
한다고?
just eager
절대
to
안
put this all
죽었지.
behind her. I'm just keeping myself sharp. I am. I'm on team. Let's put this.
대가리를 왜 가져가?
Fine. You pick up the princess's severed head. Did you see that?
왜 몸은 안
I
가져가?
sworn she moved. She didn't. But what if she's not? Are you listening to yourself? Do I need to explain to you why decapitation is lethal? The door to your bountiful... You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world. Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you
멸망으로부터
find.
벗어난 세상이 아니라고?
Instead, what you find is...
Well played.
This is the end of the world, isn't it? I always thought I'd at least have time to explain myself. Over? But we're still
나도
here.
왜 눈을 감아?
Maybe it wasn't
멸망해서?
the end of...
Thanks for carrying me up here. I had to take it on faith that you would know what to do. I'm glad I
공주가 날
saw.
믿기 시작했어요.
This is the outside. Maybe it's just my lack of body, but
공주도 역시 죽는구나.
You lunge forward with that. You feel flesh.
oh, this is it. Do you actually?
It's like she's... Yes. But it's over, is it? Yes. Exactly. It's over. With your work done, why do I feel like you did kill someone? Greater good or not,
다쳤어.
something would be... But that day isn't... You open the cabin door, ready to... Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you
해설자
find.
당황했니?
Instead, what you find... What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them.
이게 무슨 소리야?
Don't worry.
세상을 구한 것 치고 결말이 별론데?
This isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, this is what's best for everyone. Time passes. You can't be sure if
뭐야,
it's
내가
days
오두막에
or
갇혔잖아.
months or years. I do. The blade. I can hear everything you say,
자살하는
little
거야?
voice. He's right. Do you hear that? Do you not? Don't you?
여기서 아무것도 안 하고 있으면 어떻게 되는 거지?
What a... I suppose we're more happy, please. Shh. The little voice. Eventually you pass into a...
해피엔딩 해냈어요. 당신이
You
모두를
have already
구했어요.
committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
뭐야 이게? 행복하진 않군. 네가 내게 맞은 거로 말을 건 사람이야. 그런 건 아니야.
Because the blade. I can hear. He's right. Do you hear? Do you not? Don't you?
단검을 사용하면 우리가 죽는 거
How
아니야?
astute. In a sense, we die. But
이게 살아있는
looking at
거라고 할
things
수
from
있어?
another... I know this is
그렇긴 해.
out there. That little voice. I made this happy little place fine. Whatever. For the third, the princess's body is
우와.
dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay
시체가
her
아니
is still as
뼈가
pristine as the
됐네.
day you first held it.
해골이 됐어.
You pick up the blade, you stab yourself at the end. Nice.
챕터 2 유령. 거의 사라졌다.
The door to the basement
어머, 왜 이렇게 다
groans
찢어져
open,
있어?
revealing an old banister
건물
and a
자체가
creaky
죽은 것
wooden
같다고?
stair. The room below. Nobody's here. As much as I appreciate the I guess we'll just have to go down and see.
뼈다귀가
As you
있어.
descend
진짜
the final
뼈다귀가
step,
있네.
the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body
야,
lying
저
in a heap on the
뼈다귀면
floor.
족쇄
Its
빠지겠다.
wrist still bound to the wall by
뼈다귀가
a
살아서
thick
움직이진
chain.
않겠지?
Okay, she's definitely dead.
아니 근데 공주가 죽었는데 왜 멸망해?
It's just like I told you.
아니구나,
Before you
멸망하지
have a chance
않고
to
나만
finish your
가둔
thought, the top
거였구나
of a head
생각해보니까.
appears from underneath. The two deep-set
Ew.
eyes stare up at you, followed by a
장난스러운
mischievous
미소?
skeletal grin. And finally,
뭐야,
the
귀여워.
rest of the body floats up to join
유령
the
신부
head.
같아.
Wait, this ghost?
Ghost?
Oh, wow. How
야, 너
absolutely
너무
terrifying.
감정 없는 거 아니냐?
Oh, it's you. Hiya, killer. I was hoping to see you
킬러라고
again.
하네 나한테.
I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
The princess drifts
나한테
across the room into
다가온다.
your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you.
어디 갔어?
Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet. So she has a body.
아, 저거 내가 찌른
She's
자국인가
right
보다.
there.
상황을 지켜본다.
I see you brought that
그
in
짜증나는
mind.
칼을 또 가져왔대.
So, are you waiting for a
뭐야, 넌 죽었잖아. 그럼 할 수 있는 게 별로 없겠네. 난 그냥 갈게. 공주를 죽인다. 유령을 죽일 수가 있나?
Without a
죽여볼까?
moment's hesitation, you laugh. It's like you're slashing
안
at air.
되네.
No matter how many.
You're adorable when you're confused.
나한테 반했니? 귀엽다고 하네.
But I didn't say you could touch me.
어우, 망했다.
Why are you even here? Just making sure you finish the job? Or
그런 건 아니고.
This isn't a solution. Nobody.
You're...
왜 그래, 왜 그래?
Oh, she's upset, isn't she?
You're abandoning me here?
화났다, 화났다.
It would seem so, yes.
After everything you've done to me, you trusted to do more?
화났다.
The princess starts to float
어떡할 건데,
erratically from
근데 너
side to side,
귀신이잖아.
her cold exterior melting.
But if you're just leaving me, then I'm really just going to be stuck here forever. There's nothing I can do. It's just going to go on and on and on and on, lonely and sad and hurting and empty.
No, not that!
She's about to try something.
뭐 할 건데?
Get ready. The princess passes through
어디
you,
갔어?
a chill rippling along your skin. You turn and face her as she hovers between you and the stairs. Spectral tears streak down her
울어?
cheeks as she places a translucent hand on your chest. Are we doing the right thing? Why do I feel so sad? Don't let her get to you. It doesn't matter. Her dark-rimmed eyes fall to the floor as
마음이
she
약해졌어.
speaks.
I never wanted to have to hurt anybody. It's not who I wanted to be.
The tears on her cheeks vanish. She lifts her head, sorrow
마음이
replaced with wrath,
약해져
staring into you with fiery anger.
But I guess
아니,
you
또
turned me into
화났네.
something worse.
She forces her hand into your chest, and then... Yes? Nothing happens.
엥?
Are you sure about that? Something should have happened. And yet it didn't. We're fine. You can't be sure if you first hear or feel what happens
뭐야,
next.
뭘 한 거야?
But it is horrific splintering, the squelching of organs,
뭐야,
the rending
유령인데
of
어떻게 날
tissue,
죽이는 거야?
an icy, numbing pain.
I'm done asking. The next time I see you, I'm taking everything I owed. Starting with your body. If you won't choose to give me my freedom, I'll just have to make you give it to me.
자유를 어떻게 주게 만들겠다는 걸까? 뭐 고문이라도 하려는
She's real
걸까?
now. If she's making us dead, we should return the favor.
공주를 죽인다.
You swing your blade towards her briefly, but it's too little, too late. In her... Did we get... Even if we didn't.
아우, 정말 싫어. 어이크하는 거 봐. 오, 씨.
Afraid you'll never know. As she crushes your precious organ in her...
또 만나는 거야? 망령 뭐야, 망령. 또 만나? 우리 또 만나? 그만 만나.
You're on a path in the
어,
woods.
여기가 어디야?
Here we go again. The deck's stacked, isn't it? Come on. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I think that's exactly. Wouldn't that get... Okay, so you've already... Nobody here. Well, we kill. And why? Because you... That doesn't say the end. Well, of course. It would... So, yeah, even... Whatever. You continue down the path toward... It isn't long before you're steps away from your destination.
오두막은 그대로네.
I don't think you need any words of warning. The more he talks,
뭔가
the more I'm
나무가 많긴
interested.
하다.
Whatever.
나무한테
You don't want to listen
죽었던 거
to me?
생각나서
Do it
별론디?
then. Let her out. It sounds. The interior of the cabin is long and dark. A single
완전 귀신
narrow
나올 것
hallway
같이 생긴
stretching
곳이네.
far into the distance. The only furniture of note is.
근데 여긴
That's
단검이
strange.
없다.
What's strange? Is it the mirror? The mirror? No, there isn't a mirror.
What's strange is that there isn't much of anything in here
그러니까
at all
단검이
aside from the
없다.
curtains. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Great. Something else has been taken away from us.
빼앗길 게
I
있었다고.
suppose the only way to go is forward. So forward we will go. You slowly make your way towards the gaping maw that awaits you.
공포로 몸이 떨리고 싸늘한 바람이 당신을 복도 끝에 어둠을 향해 떠밉니다. 잠깐만 무서워.
We've always been watched.
갑자기 튀어나오는 건 아니겠지? 설마 그렇게 무서운 짓을 하지
Feel
않겠지?
like you're trying to put us on edge. You stop as you... What are the odds she's waiting for? You reach your arm. Nothing.
휴.
What you looking at, killer? Staring into the void? Thinking about what it'd be like to die again? I know exactly how you feel.
Shit. Where is she?
갑자기 튀어나오겠다.
You feel something long and frigid coil around your
아,
ankle.
발 밑에서 오나
Your
봐.
heart skips a beat. Stab your bones. Snap. Icy pain radiates up from the break. A
레전드.
deep cold flooding your veins as your
아,
legs,
대박.
numb with the shock of it,
이렇게
collapse.
죽인다고?
And
와.
you collapse with them. You're met with the terrifying visage of the
저게
princess.
뭐야?
Her hand grips your leg in a steel vice, her grin
재밌냐?
carved jagged from ear to ear, crowded with far too many long and crooked teeth.
으.
Do you know how I feel? I gave you a path to
아 진짜?
forgiveness.
날 용서하러 했어 정말로? 진짜로? 뻥치지 마.
I thought maybe you'd seen what you've done and feel remorseful. Maybe try to make it up to me. But no. You'd rather use that
진짜인가?
knife to keep
만약에
making the same
용서했으면 또
mistake
어떻게 되는 거야?
over and over and over.
세이브 할 걸. 아 세이브 할 걸.
Even after I ripped your heart out, you still cut me. And for what? I didn't go anywhere. You didn't banish me. I'm right well. Maybe a lot worse. So, here's how this is going to go.
내 몸을 차지한다고? 빙의하는 거야?
I'm going to walk it out of here.
으.
You get to
야
watch
발목
me do
이렇게
it.
부러졌는데
Completely
어떻게
helpless.
나가려고
Just like
그러냐?
you
야
left me.
정상적인 몸인 상태에서 빙의해야지.
I say we let her do it. You remain pinned to the floor of the long hallway as the rest of
저게
the
뭐야?
princess's
뼈야?
body emerges. Her proportions all wrong, limbs bent, her torso stretches until her face. Are you sure you can't do anything to help us?
거대한
Can't you, like,
바위를 소환해?
manifest and crush you along with her? Not that I even can. Not like this. You don't even have a weapon. So I'm afraid you're out of luck. And whose fault is it there isn't a weapon? Yours, I assume. There's supposed to be. Are you seriously trying to
아 왜
blame
여기
this on us?
이 상황에서 싸우고 있어?
You're awake. Eyes once again fixed on the long hallway.
오 빙의했나 봐.
So cramped in here. Like there's some sort of growth trying to... I know. I'd beg you to
저
resist
발목으로
anything to get
일어났어.
to new
으
body inch.
소리 봐. 으
Despite the anguish, it doesn't feel like the... Please. It's pointless, isn't it? I can't stop her without you. And you... No, screw that. The hallway gets even longer.
해설자가 한 건가? 와 공주 진짜 능력 쩔어.
It really is, isn't it?
아우 징그러.
Isn't saying all of this his job?
또 뺏겼어.
Oh, he really...
사라졌대.
This is it then. I just hope it's a way out.
영혼까지 찢어지는 고통?
We're us again. How interesting. We actually won!
What is happening to me?
잘 가. 하하하하. 어차피 끝은 내가 이긴다. 심오했지만 재밌었습니다. 유튜브 에디션으로 스토리 해석 이런 거 봐야 될 것 같아요. 오늘도 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 오늘 했던 게임은 슬레이더 프린세스였습니다. 오늘의 영상을 봐줘서 감사해요, 여러분. 그럼 안녕! 구독, 좋아요. 구독, 좋아. 빰빰빰.